A greeting from Jude, a servant of Jesus Christ and a brother of James, to those who are called, loved by God the Father, and kept in Jesus Christ. Mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you. God's judgment on the ungodly, beloved. Although I made every effort to write to you about the salvation we share, I felt it necessary to write and urge you to contend earnestly for the faith entrusted once for all to the saints. For certain men have crept in among you unnoticed, ungodly ones who were designated long ago for condemnation. They turn the grace of our God into a license for immorality, and they deny our only Master and Lord Jesus Christ. Although you are fully aware of this, I want to remind you that after Jesus had delivered his people out of the land of Egypt, he destroyed those who did not believe, and the angels who did not stay within their own domain, but abandoned their proper dwelling. These he has kept in eternal chains under darkness, bound for judgment on that great day. In like manner Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities around them, who indulged in sexual immorality and pursued strange flesh, are on display as an example of those who sustain the punishment of eternal fire. Yet in the same way these dreamers defile their bodies, reject authority, and slander glorious beings. But even the archangel Michael, when he disputed with the devil over the body of Moses, did not presume to bring a slanderous charge against him, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." These men, however, slander what they do not understand, and like irrational animals they will be destroyed by the things they do instinctively. Woe to them! They have traveled the path of Cain, they have rushed for profit into the air of Balaam, they have perished in Korah's rebellion. These men are hidden reefs in your love feast, shamelessly feasting with you, but shepherding only themselves. They are clouds without water, carried along by the wind, fruitless trees in autumn, twice dead after being uprooted. They are wild waves of the sea, foaming up their own shame, wandering stars, for whom blackest darkness has been reserved forever. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, also prophesied about them. Behold, the Lord is coming with myriads of his holy ones, to execute judgment on everyone, and to convict all the ungodly of every ungodly act of wickedness, and every harsh word spoken against him by ungodly sinners. These men are discontented grumblers, following after their own lusts. Their mouths spew arrogance, they flatter others for their own advantage. I call to persevere, but you, beloved, remember what was foretold by the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ, when they said to you, "In the last times there will be scoffers who will follow after their own ungodly desires. These are the ones who cause divisions, who are worldly and devoid of the Spirit. But you, beloved, by building yourselves up in your most holy faith and praying in the Holy Spirit, keep yourselves in the love of God as you await the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ to bring you eternal life. And indeed have mercy on those who doubt, save others by snatching them from the fire, and to still others show mercy tempered with fear, hating even the clothing stained by the flesh. Doxology. Now to him who is able to keep you from stumbling, and to present you unblemished in his glorious presence with great joy, to the only God our Savior be glory, majesty, dominion, and authority through Jesus Christ our Lord, before all time and now and for all eternity. Amen. Amen.
Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you also found out why it is that I should not be on the church choir. There you go. I didn't realize I had turned my mic off. I'm telling you, man, this life right here is just going to keep me humble. The Lord has seen fit to use this as a means to keep me extremely, extremely humble. So I was singing. I'm sitting there getting everything lined up and turn my mic off. It's usually muted. So then we got that problem. Usually I mute myself and that's messed up. But then this time I actually let y'all know why it is that I should never be in the choir. Now y'all know. I sound horrible. I take the admonition to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. I take it in full stride. Full stride. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate you, Amethyst, for letting me know that I was out there wilding out. I just can't, man. I just can't, man. I just need to just go ahead and shut the whole thing down and take it on home. My goodness, in the morning. Shout out to everybody. I appreciate y'all. This has been a busy day. We got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. All right. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed it. I am glad that you enjoyed it. Shout out to Chrissy up in the building. Thank you so much for stopping by. That should not have happened. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that, though. I will have to run that tape back and hear how terrible I sound, even though I know how bad I sound. All right. Shout out to y'all for sure. Thank y'all so much, everybody who's jumped into the best live chat on the internet. I just think that's hilarious. Shout out for sure. I mean, I guess the only worst thing could have been, you could have heard me singing the whole thing. That would have probably been, I probably would have had like 2 people left in here, and 2 of them would have been me. So I guess we got that. Anyway, what you say, love? We know for sure this is, well, there you go. We're not AI. Shout out to you. What's going on to the best live chat on the internet? Okay, tonight, what I want to do is I had intended to go over a lot of the crazy theories that outright lies that Candace has put out, and then go over some of the goofy stuff that she talked about, like Mormon bee cults and shot from underground and Egyptian planes. So I got my list and I tried to make a really fun infographic. And initially I did 1 through 10. I'm sorry, 1 through 20. Please forgive me, 1 through 20. And my AI made some fantastic infographics. They were chef's kiss. But then I looked at them and I'm like, there's a mistake on them. Like, good night. There was a mistake on like 4 of them. And I was like, okay, well, can you recreate these 4? I don't know what happened to my AI, but after that, it would not act right. It could not make these things correctly. And it just went completely from everything was like 96% correct to, 96% complete to, sir, what's wrong with you? Why do you hate me? So I'm going to go over it because it was good. I have to admit the initial one was good, but there's mistakes in it. And I got it to make the whole PowerPoint presentation. It was really cool, but there's mistakes. And I was like, okay, well, let's go back and fix these mistakes. And I could not get it to behave correctly. I just couldn't. John, how do I sound? John, you know your job. Yeah, Chet, it will do something great. And then you ask it to do it again. Maybe you like take out one word or move this picture around or something of that nature. And it all goes to, I don't even know if this is hallucination. This is straight up like sabotage. It's just straight sabotage. Well, John, you missed it because apparently I turned my mic off and I was singing during the opening. And apparently I traumatized a lot of people with that. Okay, I don't know how to use Grok. I'm not going to even lie. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm a simple guy. If I find something and it works for me, I'm just going to keep working with it. I do not I'm not like the old dog, new tricks, but it's just, if it just works and I just need something to do it, I'm just going to do it. Like if I showed you the editing program I use to edit my videos, you would probably laugh me out of off this live stream. It's easily circa 2010, easy, but it just works. It just works for me. Right, there he goes. It can do a great job. It can do great on the first run, and everything after that is horrible. Okay, let me pull this in because again, I thought the original one was really good. I'm like, oh, this is excellent, man. This is exactly what I want. Is this it? Yeah, this is it right here. All right, so shout out. So I'm gonna show you my incomplete project, and then we'll go through some videos that are just debunking a lot of the lies and mistruths and untruths and half truths and just outright fabrications that Candace has been putting out for the last 10 months. We'll dispel those. And then, yes, I will be looking at the Josh Shapiro video that he did. Ben Shapiro video that he just did yesterday. That thing was hilarious. So we will be doing that. We got a lot to do today. So let's bring this in. All right. So you see the vision of what I was working on here. Let me drop this out of the way. You get the idea of what I was doing, right? On the left, I got the lie. On the left, I have the fabrication, the fan fiction. Then on the right, I got the correction. All right. Tyler Robinson was never a UVU before the shooting. That has been debunked, right? Surveillance showed Robinson on campus multiple times before September 10th and several times on the day of the shooting. All right. So we can see that you see the spirit of what I was doing, right? It was good. And I think like the last 4 or 5 of them get really crazy. I didn't think this was complicated though, John. Yo, Pro John. I'm going to just call you Pro John. Pro John, I didn't think it was that hard. I really didn't. I did not think this was difficult at all. All right, let me give y'all a bigger screen. There you go. Okay, so you can see this. All right, so this is the spirit of what I was trying to work on. Number 2, Tyler wasn't casing the location. She had said that. And the video surveillance record repeated several arrivals, departures, changes in movement, and extensive time on campus. So we see that it's wrong. That was debunked, right? From the trial. Robinson's timeline doesn't add up. The evidence contradicts his story. And this is one where I'm like, well, hold on. This doesn't read correctly. That's where I was starting to try to ask it to make some corrections, and that's where everything went off the rails. Evidence confirmed Robinson's timeline and directly contradicted his claims. Digital, video, and location data all align. No gaps or impossibilities in the timeline. Multiple independent sources corroborated his movements. So I thought this was pretty good, but I wanted to correct some of these times right here. And that's when I brought that in and asked the AI to fix it. And like, let's fix these. And that's when the wheels on the bus got real wobbly, but they're going to fall off in a minute. I was like, man, I thought it was starting out pretty good. Right. See, the times are wrong. That's what I was saying. When I went back and looked at it, I'm like, these times are wrong. And I just thought it was something simple, like, hey, let's go back here and look at these timelines. But that's where the problem started. Tyler never interacted with TP USA personnel. Witnesses testified that Robinson spoke with Turning Point USA staff before the shooting. So that one was pretty spot on. Tyler was never on the roof. Now, see, this is another one I wanted to change it because I'm like, no, I wanted that whole Spider-Man crawling on the roof thing, but I just could not get it to correct itself. Surveillance shows Robinson as accessing the roof and occupying the firing position. And we know that happened on yesterday. Lots of people have been reporting on the very clear video evidence showing that happened. Okay, let's go. There was no rooftop sniper. And, well, we know that's not true. State's evidence included a rooftop firing position, rifle sniper pad, and trajectory consistent with the elevated shooter. All right, here comes another dumb one. Exploding microphone theory. No evidence introduced supported a microphone malfunction or explosive device. Every piece of evidence pointed to a rifle shooting. Thought that was pretty good. And if you're following along, shout out to the best live chat on the internet. I'm just going over, I made a list of things that Candace has said that were debunked during the 5-day preliminary trial. I slid it into AI to try to create some really fun infographics. It made the infographics, but lo and behold, I realized there were some mistakes. So when I went back to try to get it to correct it, it just went completely out of control. And if anybody has a better way, like just to take information on a table and just input it and create it, because I thought the infographics looked great. It just would not make corrections. Could not get it to correct itself. Like, just make this a little cleaner. Like, let's fix this times. And the wheels on the bus fell off. I don't know what happened. Anyway, here we go. All right, here's another goofy one. Palm gun theory. No evidence introduced suggests a close-range concealed shooter. The state's case centered on a rooftop fire rifle shot. Tyler Robinson wrote a note admitting to the shooting. No, now see, this is another one where it misinterpreted what I put in there. What came out in court? No such note was found or introduced as evidence. Investigators testified that no confession or admission exists. That's not true. There was quite a bit of evidence, and there is a note that Lance Twiggs mentioned and corroborated. That's what I was saying. I wanted to fix it. I asked it to fix it, and it broke it. Shooting staged for political gain. Overwhelming evidence suggests, or rather showed, that this was a targeted, premeditated assassination. Motive, planning, forensic evidence, and witness testimony all confirmed it. I agree. Here's another one that I couldn't get it to work. The phone data was manipulated or fabricated. Forensic analysis confirmed that the phone data was authentic, unaltered, and consistent with provider records. And we're going to probably see a lot. If you thought the DNA evidence was slightly boring, if you thought the DNA horse trading was really boring, wait till they start parsing through cell phone data. And oh my gosh, because not only do they have text messages, not only do they have phone calls and text and location data, but they also have third-party apps like Discord and Snapchat that they're going to have to bring in. And you're going to learn way more than you probably want to know about cell phone data and such of that nature. So let's keep dancing. Let's go. Tyler Robinson had help and was a part of a bigger plot. No evidence or co-conspirators or a larger plot was found. Now, that does not mean that there ever won't be. Just want to put that out there. Investigators found no communications or contact with others about the shooting. Digital forensics showed Robinson acted alone. No charges or arrests of any associates yet. That's all I want to say. Because they could find that out after the fact. But there's nothing at this moment that they can find. Robinson used a cell phone to coordinate the attack. This is one where I don't think it understood what I was asking it to do. And so that's why I say, like, this one right here did not pan out correctly because the dates and the things of the nature don't work right. So if you're just jumping in, I made a list of things that Candace said that were completely lies and just outright goofy stuff. I put in the AI so I could make some cool infographics, and lo and behold, some of the infographics were not correct. And I had to go back and ask it to correct it, and I could not get it to correct it. Like, so it was like, look, Jason, I only gave you one time, bro. That's what you get. That's it. I'm like, well, hold on. Hello? Like, it would not fix it. So anyway, I was just going over because I still thought they were useful. Some of them were useful, but there are going to be some bad ones in here as well that just needed correction, and it just didn't get the correction. All right, let's go. Robinson used VPNs. Like, there's another, I don't know where this got this from, to hide his online activity. There's nothing that said that. Investigators suggested Robinson's devices and found no evidence of VPN usage. So I don't know how it made that claim. Robinson used a burner phone, and this isn't even on my list. I don't know where that one even came from. Forensic examination of all evidence confirmed Robinson used his personal phone, not a burner. Robinson used encrypted apps to hide communications about the shooting. And this is what, like I said, we're going to be hearing a lot about Snapchat, Signal, a regular text message, Discord. We're going to hear a lot about it. Investigators recovered Robinson's devices and found no evidence of encrypted apps or hidden chats. Now, that being the case, it doesn't mean that they're not, like, Snapchat is a much more encrypted, or dare I say hidden type of app. So I don't know what that's going to come into the trial for sure, but keep dancing. Robinson coordinated with others in person before the shooting. There was no evidence of that. That was the whole maroon shirt foolishness. Robinson's timeline and data supported the claim. Court evidence did not support Owens' timeline narrative. Phone timeline did not match key claims. Location data contradicted her story. No evidence he was at the base. He was at the base or met anyone. Data was consistent and verifiable. And again, I just thought that it was good. I just want to end it with this. Shame can lead to repentance, restoration, and righteousness. Candace needs to repent, man. She needs to look at herself. And I left these scriptures there just to give a little context. This one came out fine. Just to give a little bit of context. Like, Candace needs to be humbled, man. And she needs to return and repent for her complete fabrications that she's made. And she's getting drugged on Twitter. She's getting drugged on Instagram. She's getting drugged on other platforms. And like, at some point, man, just let it go. Let go and just say, you know what? I was wrong. That's the greatest thing. I was wrong. And I need to move on. So shout out to for sure. Thank y'all so much, everybody. Okay. That was, again, my point was I had made a list of things that she said that were totally goofy, totally out of line. And I just could not get it to work right. So anyway, we're gonna go back old school style. She's making herself look like a fool. I think God is actually making a fool out of her. I told y'all this is her Nebuchadnezzar moment. This is her Nebuchadnezzar moment, man. All right, I appreciate y'all. Let's get popping and locking. All right, so we're gonna watch Cuomo Crime Time over here. Let's put this brother up on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's switch this out first, Jason. There you go. All right, let's see what Cuomo had to say. We're going to start unpacking some of these other stories that Candace has put out there. And let's see how they sound. If you don't mind, green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
The Tyler Robinson case, which is, of course, about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Tyler Robinson said he did it. No one is even arguing otherwise, except people on Twitter who want to get paid, period. That is all part of the problem, not a solution. So what is the reality? This.
I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. I started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it.
And what he had said the night before, which we have the text records of, is that he killed Charlie Kirk. Today, though, here's the curveball. We expected the judge to make his ruling as to whether or not there's enough evidence to proceed to trial.
I didn't expect
Probable cause. No brainer. Lowest standard that there is. The judge says, I hold my decision until September. Why and what does this mean for the defense? Criminal defense attorney Sarah Azari knows the answer. Thank you for joining, my friend, especially on a Friday night. So
let me stop Cuomo for a second. I don't know. I can understand. I probably would have expected it, but I don't know. The way this judge has been moving, Judge Graff, I truly expected him to say, let me take some time, a day or two. I did not expect a month, though. I will say that. I did not expect a month, but I did expect him to say, let me take some time to consider whether or not this is enough to bring charges. That being the case, though, I don't know that was, I don't know. I would have been fine. If he had come up and said, yo, this is enough. Y'all need to go in. Yeah, this is enough to bring charges. I wouldn't have been upset about it, but I did expect him to think about it because he just seems to try to be that thorough, in my opinion.
why didn't he rule?
Well, Chris, you know, in a normal prelim, the prosecution puts on its case for probable cause, which they did. The defense makes a motion to reduce the charges and or to dismiss the charges, and the judge rules right there on the spot. There's no taking it under submission. I think in this case, you know, partly I think, you know, some say this is to buy time, which I don't think it's necessary. This is a death penalty case. I think the defense could get time if they asked for it. I think from what I've seen is that this defense wants a very robust record, not just an oral record that a court reporter transcribes, but a written record. In other words, they're forcing the prosecution's hand to brief their position of probable cause and cite to Utah law as to why they think there's sufficient evidence to proceed to trial. So I think this is just the strategy of this defense, and rightfully so, because their client's life is on the line.
So I didn't put it the right way. It's not the judge that's forcing this to go to September. It's the defense.
Oh, yeah. The defense asked for briefing, and I believe the prosecution has a certain amount of time to present their brief. The defense then responds to it.
That makes sense.
And then the prosecution replies to it, and then the judge has an oral hearing on the brief.
Oh, then I totally misunderstood it then. I thought that was on Judge Graff. Okay. I did not understand that. Well, there we go. Okay, that's what the briefing was. Okay, that's why they keep putting all this weight on the defense. Like, why you keep bringing up the defense? Oh, yeah, I don't know why they have much power either. That actually is worse, in my opinion. Yeah, that makes perfect. Okay, you know what, y'all know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back that up a little bit. That makes so much sense. I was wondering why she kept saying the defense. Okay. We got to back that up now. We're going to do, who was that? Back that thing up. I don't remember who it was, but we're going to back that thing up. Let's go.
Taking it under submission. I think in this case, partly, I think, some say this is to buy time, which I don't think it's necessary. This is a death penalty case. I think the defense could get time if they asked for it. I think from what I've seen is that this defense wants a very robust record, not just an oral record that a court reporter transcribes, but a written record. In other words, they're forcing the prosecution's hand to brief their position of probable cause and cite to Utah law as to why they think there's sufficient evidence to proceed to trial. So I think this is just the strategy of this defense, and rightfully so, because their client's life is on the line.
So I didn't put it the right way. It's not the judge that's forcing this to go to September. It's the defense. Oh,
yeah. The defense asked for briefing, and I believe the prosecution has a certain amount of time to present their brief. The defense then responds to it.
That makes sense.
And then the prosecution replies to it, and then the judge has an oral hearing on the briefing and then rules on it. Very extensive, very drawn out. This is not normal.
Wow.
Appreciated. You made a very good point I would like you to make again, which is ordinarily probable cause is established by a grand jury in an indictment. Here, Utah has this process, and you say this is a unusual and very good opportunity for the defense. Why?
So, Chris, in many states, for example, California, where I practiced for many years, the typical scenario is to file a complaint and charge the defendant and then go to preliminary hearing. We don't as often have grand jury indictments like you do in New York. However, a grand jury indictment is a probable cause hearing that the grand jury decides. And so the defense has no opportunity to cross-examine or challenge the evidence at that stage. In fact, nobody from the defense is present in the courtroom. With a situation like this, where the defendant is charged by a complaint and then there's a preliminary hearing, there is a benefit to the defense because the defense gets an opportunity to cross-examine and challenge the evidence before it goes to trial. And that's something that is, unique to criminal cases, or I should say in civil cases, you get a lot of opportunities to depose. You don't really get that in a criminal case. So this is the opportunity for the defense.
If the defense had, it wasn't him, he was with somebody else, he was compelled to do it, he didn't know what he was doing, would they bring that up now or not yet?
I mean, Chris, this is not a whodunit case at all. I think if the defense went there, they would lose the jury in 2 seconds. They might as well plead to the sheet now. I think the idea here is it's not about guilt, it's about death, and it's about saving their client's life. And so every move the defense makes in this case is around that issue of how do we get rid of the death penalty, from the death eligibility factor of, firing in a crowd where other lives were in danger.
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. That's exactly why. Because again, I think we hear the great unwashed, those who are just watching, right? We're assuming that they're arguing that Tyler Robinson is innocent. And actually, in all honesty, they're not arguing that. They're arguing to get the death penalty off of the table because they know they can't argue that he didn't do it. That's a foregone conclusion. That makes so much sense. They're just arguing to try to get death off the table. Let me back that back up so we can understand exactly. This was very good. I'm glad I brought this on. Okay. All right. Let me bring it back in. Nope. There should be no plea off the tape. Right. Oh, I agree. I agree 100%. No, he's got a whole team. Ain't no public defender. He got a whole team that they have paid for. Good money being paid for this. I don't know who's paying for it. I have no idea. But let's go. Here we go.
To cross-examine and challenge the evidence before it goes to trial. And that's something that is, unique to criminal cases, or I should say in civil cases, you get a lot of opportunities to depose. You don't really get that in a criminal case. So this is the opportunity for the defense.
If the defense had, it wasn't him, he was with somebody else, he was compelled to do it, he didn't know what he was doing, would they bring that up now or not yet?
I mean, Chris, this is not a whodunit case at all. I think if the defense went there, they would lose the jury in 2 seconds. They might as well plead to the sheet now. I think the idea here is it's not about guilt, it's about death, and it's about saving their client's life. And so every move the defense makes in this case is around that issue of how do we get rid of the death penalty, from the death eligibility factor of, firing in a crowd where other lives were endangered, to mitigating it in the penalty phase. I mean, that is really the focus here. It's not who else did it. I mean, that's not the case here at all.
What do you make of the suggestions, not facts, okay, but the suggestions that, that kind of weapon could have never committed this kind of injury, and the Charlie Kirk people did all this stuff to the scene, and there was a bullet found on the roof, like this is a Kennedy situation. Do you buy any of that?
Are you talking about the ballistic issue that was elicited in the preliminary hearing, or are you talking about the conspiracy theories? Because those are two very different things to me.
Well, the ballistic thing was just about the rifling on the barrel, which often doesn't match precisely. But all of the other stuff that's in the universe of suspicion, which you could
know what you're saying, Chris.
Stuff.
I mean, I think it's so whack. I mean, look at, for example, they said he's still alive, right? There was 5 days of testimony, 40-something exhibits. You have, autopsy talking about the dead body of Charlie Kirk and how he was killed. So there's that. Israel did it. Evidence pointed to a rooftop in Orem, Utah, not some foreign intelligence situation. Then you have, I don't know what else there was. There was so many things that, the idea that, I don't know, you can name them, but there was like 4 or 5 different theories. But I'm just saying,
yeah, a buddy of ours who's also in your criminal defense game said, let me tell you something. If there's anything to any of that, you know who'd be saying it? His lawyers, not somebody on Twitter. Right. So anyway, I appreciate your insight.
Or saying that, some inside job by the organization. Well, how do you square that with his own handwritten confession? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. It's completely whack.
Well, I appreciate you putting it out there.
Shout out to her using the word whack. Shout out to her saying whack in 2026. I mean, she said wiggity, wiggity, wiggity whack. Now, that would be different. That would be upscale right there. But shout out to her using whack.
And I like the lingo. Sarah Azari, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
All right. Shout out to Chris Cuomo. I thought that was useful, man. I got a lot out of that. I did not fully understand why they were doing court like they were doing it. And I definitely, unequivocally did not understand how it was that the judge was going to take almost 2 months, nearly 2 months, 6 weeks to decide. But now I understand a little bit more perfectly what these briefs were. Shout out to them. I appreciate that. That was useful. Extremely helpful. I'm sorry, I don't use the word whack that often, I have to admit. She was keeping it real, absolutely. I wonder how cooperative he has been with his attorneys. I've always wondered that. I would love to see, like, how much do the attorneys and the client, how truthful are they? I've always wondered that. They'd be like, look, man, I really did do this, man. Get me off. Yes, I did it. I was a bad dude. I did it. I did wrong. I did this thing. I wonder, did they come clean and then the attorneys got to try to figure it out? Or are they lying to their attorneys? I've always wondered that. And I mean, attorneys are tasked with defending people that maybe they disagree with. Yeah. That they disagree with, that they ideologically disagree with, so on and so forth. So let's make whack great again. I agree. Now, the only thing, okay, so, because there's a couple of people saying if they take the death penalty off, they think Tyler Robinson will confess and cop a plea. The only problem is if they don't take the death penalty off, there's no benefit, there's no incentive for them to move this along any faster. If they know, let's just say this. Tyler Robinson has confessed to his attorneys that he did it. He's already explained it to them. They all know that he did it. He killed Charlie Kirk. What they're trying to do is get him not to be in front of that firing squad, but to be life in prison. So that's what they're working toward. Let's just say that in my understanding. But because the state is not going to remove the death penalty off the table, they don't have an incentive to try to get this thing moving along any faster. If that makes sense, in my opinion. But again, if you are a legal mind, I welcome you, jwitt@jwitt.com. Hop on, let me know what I'm misunderstanding. But if they know, like, okay, yeah, we're really just trying to get the death penalty off the table for this guy because we want him to, just rot in jail. Maybe he can, just rot in jail rather than rot in the ground. So we're trying to get him life in prison rather than life underground or no more life. And that's all they're trying to do. There's no incentive to try to move this along. So everything that they can throw out there to slow it down, everything they can throw out to just drag this in any longer, they're going to do it. Am I right? And they get to keep drawing that check. I meant to say that, yes. There's no incentive to move on. I don't either. I'm just saying, well, please understand, if he gets the death penalty, when he gets the death penalty, he's going to rot in jail because they're going to file every appeal under the sun. They're going to appeal that Jason was in Atlanta talking about it. They're going to appeal that Jason was drinking some water out of his cup. They're going to appeal everything. They're going to try their best to stall that thing till the cows come home. So I don't think there's going to be, we won't, I hate to say it, but a lot of us won't. I might not be here when he meets the Lord. I probably won't be here. They're going to drag that thing out forever. Let me check that real quick. That's what I want to check. What's the average time between being sentenced to the death penalty and being killed in Utah? All right, let's see. The average, here you go. Like I'm telling y'all, I knew it. So let me pull this in so y'all can see. I just asked ChatGPT, my office assistant. I said, what's the average time between being sentenced to the death penalty and being killed in Utah? And they said, in Utah specifically, the average time between death sentence and execution is currently 33 years. I was hoping they were going to say 33 months. That figure was cited during a discussion of Utah's legislation earlier this year about speeding up the appeals process. 33 years. Look at this. A few examples. Ralph Menez was sentenced to death in 1988. 1988. How old was your boy? Your boy was 14 years old. Okay, yeah. And remained on death row for 36 years before his execution was scheduled. It doesn't even say, but did he pass away? Was he killed? That's like last year, right? You see what I'm saying? Like this is not gonna go well. Whew. This person's name is I don't even know. I'm not gonna mess that man's name up. Executed on the August 2024 after spending 26 years on death row. So he was sentenced in 98. That's crazy. Several current Utah death row inmates have been there for more than 30 years. Yeah. That's so yeah, I don't know if he gonna still rot. I mean, either way. So if he gets life in prison, he's gonna be there. But if he gets the death penalty, he's gonna be there trying to appeal, just appealing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I apologize. I know what the problem is. I don't know what the solution is. Oh, okay. Let me pull this. I just saw something else in here. All right. This long delay is primarily due to automatic appeals. Like once you get the death penalty, you get an automatic appeal, post-conviction proceedings, ineffective counsel claims, new evidence, constitutional challenges, federal habeas corpus review, litigation over execution methods and competency issues. Yeah. That dude will be in, if Tyler Robinson, let's just pretend that Tyler Robinson is found guilty and sentenced to death today, July 11th, 2026. The likelihood is that he would still be, if he's in good health, he would still be on death row on July the 11th, 61? I mean, 33 years? I'm sorry, 59, forgive me. That's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the... So then my question is, so they don't have any incentive to move this along any faster because they know he's going to be on death row, sitting there and challenging, eating up the system, eating up resources. I hate it, man. I wish we could come up with a better plan. Goodness gracious. All right, let's get going. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you, everybody who's hopped in. We do have a brand new member. Who's that? The Harley 2685. Is that the Joker? That's the Joker from the new 52. I see you. I see you, Harley. Shout out to you. Thank you. And welcome to the team, friend. Welcome. All right, let's get jumping into this. All right. Let's look at some more debunking from this week. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. When you hear it, drop those green hearts. Let's go.
The depth of the conspiracy. In other words, not only is Mossad in on it, not only is Egypt and the Macrons in on it, but now the judge is in on it and the prosecutors. And guess what? The defense also. Why? Because the defense could call Candace Owens, right? She could get everybody off. She could get Tyler Robinson right off the hook. But they haven't contacted her, even though she's supposedly the world's most knowledgeable person about this case. So this is what happens when you let conspiracy thinking run amok. It incorporates even counter evidence to show how truly Byzantine the conspiracy really is.
Today, in case anybody is scoring at home, today is
Dinesh D'Souza is just too smart. What in the world? Byzantine? What are you talking about? What you say about my mama? What are you talking about? I love Dinesh D'Souza. I love that guy. Okay, let's look at this. And keep in mind, we will go over Ben Shapiro's complete gutting of Candace's ideology and her approach to quote unquote investigation. So we will be doing that later on. So keep track. All right, let's go. We're back.
Wednesday, the 8th of July. I mentioned it earlier in my introduction. There are many things we can talk about in terms of what's going on in the news, but at the top of the list, unfortunately, I guess, is this murder trial. Our friend Charlie Kirk was murdered at the end of last year, and the trial is going on right now. I don't have much to say about the trial. Perhaps you have something you want to say.
Well, it's
not a trial.
It's a preliminary hearing, and so
Thank
you don't
you,
have the
Dinesh.
full parade of evidence that you'd have in a trial, but you do get a preview of what the trial is going to look like. And right away, we see that this is a straightforward case with a tremendous amount of evidence. I mean, evidence coming from the
Everywhere.
alleged perpetrator, from his mother, who identifies him in the videos, from his dad, who turned him in, from the bullet casing, which was still in the gun. Part of it for me is I haven't gotten too involved in the Candace Owens shenanigans, but as I watch the trial, I'm trying to view it almost comically or tragicomically through the lens of a diehard Candaceite, because everything being said contradicts what she's been saying. She even says that it's not even Tyler Robinson in the videos, even though his own mother says it is.
The more you think about it, man, you do have to feel sorry for them. You do have to feel sorry for these people. Like, they are so committed to the bit. So you all know that I have teenagers. And one of the things that we do, I'm just taking a little story time with Mr. Whitaker. Yeah, I said that tongue in cheek. I was kind of tongue in cheek. So one of the things that my daughters like to do is they love to talk about plays and movies. My daughters are enamored with the Hunger Games. They cannot wait. If it were possible, my second born would be sitting outside of the movie theater right now, waiting for the new Hunger Games movie to come out in November. They are excited. And now, granted, I like the Hunger Games. I didn't like that one with Rachel Zegler, but I like the Hunger Games. I think it's a very convoluted world, but I enjoy it. So we will be going to go see it together, right? So what they're doing now is they're reading through all of the books to get ready for the movie. And so my second born has mapped it out that she's going to read so many pages and through all of the books that she has to be ready to be just about finished right before the movie comes out in November. Crazy work, right? So what they like to do is they like to ask me questions about the quarter quell, or ask me questions about Hamish, or ask me questions about these people in the story and such like that. And the trick is I have to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. That's the whole thing. They know that I don't know what I'm talking about. They know that they're asking me a question that I really, truly, honestly, that their grandfather would have said, girl, what you talking about? But they know that I am going to play along with them, and I'm going to and it's called keeping the bit going, right? And I have to commit to it. So when they come in here and they say, Dad, tell me what you think about, do you think it was right for them to start the quarter quell with playing the music, the sounds of the little kids playing, and these are the kids that are and I have to keep going. I have to pick it up, and I have to just go. I don't have to know what I'm talking about. I just have to keep doing it. And that's the whole joke. That is the entire joke. My wife looks at him like, what in the world are y'all talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just committed to the bit. I'm committed to it. I got to do it. And it's a game. Actually, we have a video on my channel earlier on when we used to play games in the car, and we used to talk about people that are driving. We say, hey, President Firstborn, who's driving that black Escalade, and what do they listen to on the radio? Hey, Chief Executive Secondborn, where's that lady in that blue Honda? Where's she coming from? And what are the names of her kids? And they would have to make up these elaborate stories. And the better the story, the better. You had to keep going. You just have to keep going. You have to commit to the bit. That's what it's all called. It's called commit to the bit. And you got to commit to it. You're committed to it because your last name is Whitaker. So you got to do it. What? No, wait. What is it? So it's a wrong answers only kind of thing. No, they don't care. They don't really care. I could say whatever I want to say about this, and it's hilarious. And again, now there's a standard. I can't say that Hamish flew to Mars or something like that. Well, they're like, Dad, come on, that's crazy. I'm like, well, the whole story's crazy, but I gotta keep it going. I gotta keep it going, and that is the whole thing. So anyway, where am I going with that? I feel sorry for Candace people because they're like that. They're committed to the bit. They won't just say, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like my kids would be devastated if I ever said, nah, I'm not going to play the game anymore. Nope, I'm done. I'm finished. That would probably ruin their whole day because they'd probably do this 2-3 times a day, all the time. I mean, my big girl calls me from school and does it. So that's how bad it is, right? And I have to play it on the phone. And like she'll have her friends, and her friends are cracking up in the room because I'll be talking about her friends. Like, oh, yeah, hey, what's going on, Marcy? Oh, man, how's your mom and dad doing? It is so glad they let them know that, hey, I still have the bottle opener that he left in my trunk when he threw it in. Yeah, remember that when the rain started falling? Yeah, he threw the bottle opener. I got his bottle opener. I'll bring it over, next weekend, okay? Absolutely. And tell your mom, my wife, loves sitting around talking to her about that television show. What was the name of it again? Yep, that's the name of the show. Yep. She loved it. Tell her we really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and we'll see you all next weekend. Okay. All right, y'all take care. That's what I got to do it. So you got to commit to the bit. So it can happen at any moment. Like I'm looking at my phone. My kids could call me right now, and I got to commit to it. That's how Candace's people are. That's how Cantifa is. They have to commit to it. And it doesn't matter how crazy it gets. More and more crazy, they just got to keep, they're stuck to it. They're stuck. And they can't just say, hey, time out. Where's the brake? Pull the little brake lever. I want to get off on the stop. They can't. They're committed to it. And they have to keep going. So it doesn't matter. Candace could say, how many times have we heard people talk about the Mormon bees? Well, that's because Candace brought that up. Egyptian planes. Candace brought that up. And these people are committed to the bit. They can't just say, yeah, hold on. I got questions, and everybody's got questions. And it's not going to be every question is going to get answered anyway. But we all have questions. That's not the problem. The problem is when you commit to the bit to the point that you literally will say something as retarded as the microphone blew up on Charlie and killed Charlie Kirk. When we got evidence, all this evidence that it was a bullet, but you are over here committed to the bit to the point that you're saying a microphone, his microphone on his chest blew up or whatever. The microphone in his hand blew up because you're committed to it. You're committed to it, man. You can't let go. You can't get off the train. The crazy train is going 100,000 miles per hour. You just can't get off. And I feel bad for him because I'm like, you're committed to the lie to the degree that you are now making up stuff that sounds insane. And that's not even the high watermark of insanity, in my opinion. And that's ultimately it. She's just committed to destroying Erica and TPUSA. That's it. But anyway, I just wanted to go on a little story time. A little story time with Wit. Because Dinesh is going to be all super smart. So at least I can give you something funny. Okay, let's go. Back to Dinesh. Green Hearts in the chat where you can hear.
She says he was never on campus, even though video shows him on campus before and during and after. So,
well, let me ask you, Dinesh, what do you make? Because this is always the ultimate question. What in the world is with this woman, Candace Owens? I mean, it's I've never been as baffled by anything as I am by the phenomenon of this woman, Candace Owens. I mean, she seems to be either demonically possessed or, I'm not joking, right? It seems completely otherworldly. Her ability to spin facts and confuse evidently hundreds of thousands of followers. It's completely mystifying to me.
I'm gonna jump in. Ooh. I'll answer. In the chat, how many of you all are parents? How many of you all are parents? In the chat, give me the number of children. Put the number of children that you have, or you want to put a little kid emoji in there, whatever. When you were bringing up your child, and you were getting close to introducing him or her to solid foods, all right, you probably had this phenomenon where you were really struggling with introducing them to like fast food items like French fries or anything like that, because you knew, like all of us know, them joints is addictive, right? And so you're like, I don't know if I want to give them, I don't know, but man, we in this car, it might be easier to just give them some fries. It might be, we're in this car, it might be easier to give them something. Maybe it's not the best, but it's better. Like Chick-fil-A fries. We know Chick-fil-A fries are from Jesus, right? We'll give them some Chick-fil-A fries. But keep saying, but you struggled with introducing your child to solid foods that would potentially turn into long-term habits, right? Everybody has done it. There's, I mean, everybody, chicken nuggets, absolutely. All that kinds of processed, highly processed foods. Why? Because you know that there's pseudo addictive. They can potentially carry the child into an area where you're always getting food out the window, always getting food passed through the window, right? Always yelling in a microphone to get food passed through the window. So you know that's a problem. Okay, Jason, where are you going with this, Jason? I'm glad you asked. Candace Owens found out entirely too early that racial grifting pays money. Remember, back when she was in high school, she had an incident where the NAACP came to her defense because she was quote unquote targeted and racially racially harassed by some kids at school. They ended up suing a school district, and don't quote me on this, they got like $30,000. That, in my opinion, that attention that came from that, because this was all over her city, all over her town. It was a big deal because I think there was an elected official or a mayor, his son was caught up in it, all that kind of stuff like that. And it just so happens how serendipitous it is that because they were all minors, that case has always been sealed. Nobody will ever know the ins and outs. Nobody will know what was said. There'll never be playing of the audio file, and we'll never know who the kids were. How serendipitous. But we do know that Candace Owens sued, and Candace Owens got some bread. That thing right there, that drug of, oh, if I accuse somebody of something, and I'm not saying it didn't happen. Maybe I am. I'm not saying it really didn't happen. All I'm saying is that negative feedback, that negative positive feedback, if you will, is like a drug. And I do believe that that's what we're watching right here. We're watching the long tail of Candace being positively rewarded for negative behavior. And it's been going on since she was in high school. That's my little 2 cents. Feel free to let me know I'm wrong. jwitt@jwitt.com. Let's hear what Dinesh actually has to say, because I know he's going to have a good answer. But, and the very, very last thing, Candace Owens is not a Christian, and she's given to conspiracies. That's the other thing. So those are the three things. Like she got the negative feedback in high school. She's given to conspiracies. She has Dunning-Kruger effect on that Walter White special. For real. And she's not a Christian. So those three things come together to form like the Candace Owens monster Voltron type of situation. All those things come together and form Candace Owens. I mean, there's some other aspects to it, but that's it. Hey, Dinesh, finish this up, my friend, because you're saying something intelligent. Let's go, Dinesh.
Well, there is and there's a bunch of videos on this, by the way, on YouTube. The phenomenon is called malignant narcissism. And the basic idea here is that the malignant narcissist lives in a world in which the whole universe is constructed for your benefit. And not only that, but particularly if anybody runs afoul of that, you relentlessly try to malign and destroy them, because not to do that is to ultimately rupture your own preposterous self-perception. Now, if you apply these sort of traits of malignant narcissism, let's remember, Candace had a kind of ugly break with TPUSA. As she's had an ugly break with others, but certainly with TPUSA.
I want to know, what organization has Candace not had an ugly break with? Daily Wire, The Blaze, TPUSA, Trump administration. Give me one that she's no longer friends with that she's okay with. I would love, that's an actual project. I would love for somebody to tell me, oh, they broke up. She's no longer really friends with this person, and they're not like at cats and dogs. Dave Rubin, fill in the blank. Everybody that she breaks up with or doesn't really fall in line with anymore. Who is one? There are none. I have a whole series of women that she's gone at it with that she used to rock with at one point. Like, besides her family, that is a good point. She does have family members that she rocks with, but I don't think so. Dennis Prager. Well, I was saying Blaze Network. You're right. Dennis Prager. There's not one. Now, she doesn't go after Dennis Prager, but she's not been very kind to him, especially since his injury. Justin Peters. I mean, fill in the blank. Tim Pool. I can't think of one person, organization, entity that Candace used to be thick as thieves with. They're not really close anymore, and she's not fighting with them. I shouldn't have said Blaze. It wasn't Blaze. It was Dennis Prager. So that was my misspeak. I apologize. All right, let's go.
Nevertheless, I think she thought that she was the true kind of heir of Charlie Kirk, the sort of twin of Charlie Kirk. She's implied that both of them are sort of celestial beings that have some transcendental features in common. And all of this sounds to you and me a little crazy, a little unhinged, but it is not unhinged inside of the perverted world of malignant narcissism. So without trying to, quote, diagnose Candace Owens, I do think that this phenomenon very closely explains her behavior.
Well, I mean, if that's true and it sounds right, then it means, I would guess it means that her world eventually has to unravel. Eventually, this catches up with her. Maybe it's already catching up with her. Or, is it possible that there are enough messed up people to provide her with an audience for whatever it is she's spinning?
Part of it, I think, Eric, is that the conspiracies of the past, several years, many of them have proven to be right. And so conspiracy theorizing has gone into a kind of Twilight Zone domain. And you can always interpret evidence, however persuasive, as further examples of the depth of the conspiracy. In other words, not only is Mossad in on it, not only is Egypt and the Macrons in on it, but now the judge is in on it and the prosecutors. And guess what? The defense also. Why? Because the defense could call Candace Owens, right? She could get everybody off. She could get Tyler Robinson right off the hook. But they haven't contacted her, even though she's supposedly the world's most knowledgeable person about this case. So this is what happens when you let conspiracy thinking run amok. It incorporates even counter evidence to show how truly Byzantine the conspiracy really is.
Well, it's
He's
just
smart.
It's so awful that we're living. I mean, I
don't even know what the word Byzantine means, but he's just smart because he used it. I'm going to say something that's Byzantine so I can sound smart. Let me make sure I hit the like button on this. All right. I don't know what even Byzantine means, but I feel like I'm probably Byzantine. Yeah. I mean, you all are putting some great names in here. And like I said, can somebody tell me one person that Candace has been in thick as thieves with, and then they broke up or they're no longer rocking together and she doesn't go after them, like with all the knives out? Tell me one. I can't think of one.
I think you can corroborate that in our lifetime, we've never seen anything like this. There's something really particularly sick about this phenomenon right now. And you could throw, not just Candace Owens, but Tucker Carlson into the mix, that there's something going on right now that is I would say particularly disturbing, hard to fathom. I wonder what will happen with this trial. Do you know anything about? You said this is a preliminary hearing, so what does that mean exactly?
Well, a preliminary hearing is to convince the judge that there is probable cause or sufficient evidence here to take this to a full trial. And quite obviously there is. So it's a formality. It's basically a way of saying, hey, listen, we've got enough here to call a full-blown trial. And
All right, I'm gonna stop for a second because I was waiting for this name to show up. And here it is. It's Officer Tatum. I personally don't think that they rock together. However, Brandon Tatum does her merchandise. So their relationship is that's a very interesting relationship. So thank you, T. Ross Lane. So imagine we're not friends anymore, but we still do business together because I offer you a product that you really can't get anywhere else at the price that I offer it, or service quality or whatever, shipping, delivery, whatever. And you're like, I'm giving you a good price on it. So we might not be friends, but you still doing work with me. That's why I find Brandon Tatum very odd, because he does her shipping and fulfillment. I've done 2 videos, if not 3, talking about how Brandon Tatum does her merchandise sales. The shirts that you think are gross, the shirts that you don't like, the merchandise that Candace puts out, Brandon Tatum produces that. So that relationship, I was waiting for somebody to pull it up, or to mention it rather. I don't know how they work that out. Right. Yeah. That one right there, I really don't know how they square that peg. But anyway, I thought that was cool. I was waiting for somebody to bring it up. So let's see, anybody else? Shout out for sure. Thank you, Vanessa. You have to lock in what you like for something new. I agree. I can rock with that for sure. Thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate it. Also want to say thank you very much to SC Dog. If he gets the death penalty, he'll be on death row longer than Charlie was alive, and that's sad. That is a very real observation. I didn't think about that, but thank you so much for that, and thank you for the 5. And you're right. You're 100% correct. So let me just see real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I don't know how Brandon Tatum fixes that. I really, truly don't. That is a weird situation. So all of her merch comes from, and I've done the videos on it. If the mods want to drop the links in there, I forgot the name of it off the top of my head, but I've done 2 videos, if not 3, showing you Brandon Tatum's website, and you see that he's the one that provides her merchandise. Because he has several businesses. I'm not mad at Brandon Tatum by any means or measures. Oh, she's still on there now? Is she still on there? Yeah. Look, Brandon Tatum, as it relates to a business and a content creator, I tip my hat to him because he definitely knows what he's doing. But from the standpoint of a moral representative, I'll pass. I'll pass on that because I'm not. No, my dude, you're not. I ain't mess with you. Yeah, see, shout out to John. I'm pro John, right? You call her out for her foolishness and chicanery, but then she's your friend. Look, maybe I don't need to tell people that we're friends. Maybe I need to call you out for your foolishness, and maybe I need to reconsider. Why? I mean, that's just a whole nother thing. Let's go. Okay, Brandon Tatum has called her out this week, yeah, but he also still provides her merchandise for her website. So her merch sales comes through Brandon Tatum's fulfillment company. He does it. So I don't know what the calling out means when I'm getting paid to sell your shirts, to sell your coffee mugs, to sell your hats. I don't know what it means. Help me out. jwitt@jwitt.com. Let me know if maybe I don't understand it. I need some different friends. That's what I need. Well, I got Greg. Greg is my friend. Too bad we couldn't have seen the zoomed in rooftop video that eventually it will come out. Shout out to Greg. Thank you so much for the 20, my friend. Yes. And apparently they played a very clear 4K video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot yesterday at the end of trial. I don't know how they're going to fix that. I don't know how the defense is going to fix that. But we will. Personally, I wish they would just go and plead. But you got my point. Let's go back to Dinesh. What you got, Dinesh?
You do this not by producing every witness, but by producing enough to show the judge, guess what? We've got good reason to think this guy did it.
Yeah.
And that's what this hearing is about.
Should we move on to the subject of birthright citizenship?
Yeah, I'd like to. I talk about this in my current show this week, and it's. I've been trying to think about the issue of why we have this kind of divide. And I mean divide among the conservatives, right? The reason that we lost the case is because two conservatives, at least two, defected over to the other side and sort of made common cause with the liberals. So why is there this kind of rift on the court over something like birthright citizenship? And I argue that the answer is that all the justices on our side, all of them, from Alito to Barrett to Chief Justice Roberts, are kind of trapped inside of an interpretive framework. And the interpretive framework is what you can loosely call original intent jurisprudence, right? You know all about this. It's the basic idea is that you got to look at what the Constitution says and look at what the original framers meant. And that's how you resolve constitutional cases. Now, notice that what you don't do. What is the judge not supposed to do? And that is the judge is not supposed to look at consequences. The judge is supposed to look at text and context or intent. And I argue that this is actually flawed because on birthright citizenship, what is the worst thing about it? Is the worst thing about it like the language of the Constitution or what the framers meant? We know what they meant. They actually meant to give citizenship to the sons and daughters of black slaves. That's what they meant. The actual language of the Constitution, the 14th Amendment here, is a little ambiguous. Each side can read it one way or the other way. But my point is the really bad thing about birthright citizenship is the way in which this is being roundly abused by illegals from Guatemala and Honduras and elsewhere, and Chinese millionaires who are dispatching Chinese women to have kids in America that go back and live in China. In other words, the consequences are what's truly atrocious. And yet, if you look at the conservatives, none of them can say, we can't allow this because the consequences are bad. They have to say, we can't allow this because the Constitution says, or this is what the framers meant. And I guess what I'm saying is we have a form of jurisprudence that has to blind itself to consequences. And that's not a good idea.
Well, I want to make sure that I understand this correctly. I thought that, I understand the idea of consequences, but I guess I'm going to leave this in the I'm going to leave that in the description. I realize they've gone off of the conversation about Candace, which I thought was great. And I don't want to get too lost in the weeds right there. Thank you so much, Chrissy, for posting that. Yeah, that's my video on Brandon Tatum. I've done several of them actually, but I'll make sure also the next video, I'll leave it linked in the description so you can go check it out as well. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Greg, for being the stream sponsor. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And what do you say here? You said Byzantine distinguishes the new school from the old school. Really? Okay. Well, I'm Byzantine in my approach to something. I don't know. What would I be Byzantine in? Like old school music? I could be Byzantine about old school music, right? Yeah, okay, I'm Byzantine about it. I don't even know what that even means. Shout out. What does Amethyst say? Anna Kitsko would have a client list in the thousands if she treated the Cantifa cult members. Candace, meanwhile, will be pictured next to Ted Bundy. Shout out for sure. Thank you so much for the 5. And you are 1,000% correct. Yeah, I personally think Candace is a cult. I do believe that. And you can disagree, and we can disagree. I would ask you, how do you make this assertion that you disagree, though? What are you using to disagree with me?
That would be my only pushback question. What are you using to push back? All right. We're going to jump over here. Y'all know I like Asmongold. And Asmongold jumped on.
Now
and
that the Charlie,
he's been abusing Candace for a while. So this is not something new. He is definitely not new to this by any means or measure. I want to bring in what he said about Candace. He's looking at Candace, Nick Fuentes, and he had this whole discussion. I'm going to tell you up front, I did not take any time to edit out the language, because Asmon, we got to pray for the brother. Asmon, his language is not sanctified. So, somebody sent me an email. Thank you so much for the 2. Let me go find out. I'll pull it in a second. So let's bring Asmon up in here. Asmon, you definitely need to come up here to the front of the church. So let's bring him in here. Asmon, jump on up here to the front of the church. Green Hearts in chat where you could hear.
now that the Charlie Kirk trial is in session, everybody, let me see if I can pull this up and show you. Give me 1 second. I would read these. So now that the Charlie Kirk trial is in session, you have a ton of people that are trying to do damage control for like very clearly and very obviously. Here's one right here. No, Andrew, the big problem, this debilitating narcissism, you could hijack Charlie's legacy. His show, his organization, and pervert his vision. Oh my God. Hello, Miss. And she got absolutely, completely fucking destroyed by this account, Data Republican. 74,000 likes.
Is that Tyler Robinson, who did not attend UVU, had never been on UVU campus, packed up his car that day, jumped onto a rooftop, figured out how to like jump around like Spider-Man, and just knew exactly where Charlie Kirk would be seated just by having never been there.
I don't
Do you think
Tyler Robinson was there.
You don't think he was there?
No. I think he's a total patsy. I think they get lookalikes and they got everybody wearing the same outfit. I think he played a role, and I believe that what he did was he picked up clothes and he dumped them behind the Dairy Queen. I think he had a role, but I do not believe that Tyler Robinson is the person who was walking in that.
Can we finally use this as an example to stop listening to this stupid bitch? Can we please just kind of put this to bed? Really, like, I mean, I don't understand how anybody takes this person seriously anymore.
Staircase.
Please.
I do not believe the person walking in the staircase, and I feel confident stating that Tyler Robinson did not murder. His roommate is a federal asset.
So let me stop for a second. Also, one of the things that I got a little pushback. I said, Candace, there's a video where I compare Candace Owens' quote unquote journalism to Nick Shirley's journalism. And I mentioned that Candace doesn't go to locations. And I got some pushback. She went during the BLM riots, she did this and she did that. And I was like, okay, I can get you on that. Why is this trial in the last 10 months? Because Candace has been all over the world for the last 10 months. And y'all do realize Candace has probably taken more vacations since Charlie Kirk breathed his last breath than some of y'all have taken in 20, 30 years. It's crazy work how many vacations this woman's been on or trips she's been on. She's been on like 6 in 10 months. That's crazy work. But I digress. But she could not go to UVU at all. None of those trips. She couldn't go to UVU to do any kind of investigation. So she would not say something as retarded as the whole Spider-Man climbing the wall like Spider-Man to get on the roof statement. Just that alone would have fixed a lot. And she just went to UVU. I mean, for crying out loud, Gary from Paramount Tactical, shout out to Gary. He went, spent several days there, drones flying around, walking around the campus, meeting people, and and went on the roof and showed you how easy it is to get on the roof. So it at some point, the people who follow Candace, Cantifa, you're going to have to realize, like, she's just making a fool of y'all. And why would she not just go there if it's so important? This investigation is so important. Do you not think that Candace Owens doing a live stream from UVU would have done well? Come on, man, for real? I mean, that would have done great numbers. But no, she's just sitting in her basement talking. That that will never cease to amaze me. Like, why is it so important, but you won't go to the actual school? And don't you dare touch that keyboard, talk about she can't endure the emotional trauma of being where Charlie Kirk was killed. Shut your mouth. Please stop with the foolishness. You know, like I know, she don't care. She does not care. That's what you don't want to admit. She doesn't care. That's what. Okay. I just have to get that off my chest. Thank you so much.
Lance Twiggs, the person.
Why do you think that?
Because the police didn't even question him.
The police didn't question him, so he's a federal asset.
Which is, if you run the theory that he was killed with a PE patent shape charge, then they all suddenly start to make sense. Why they wouldn't bring the bomb dogs over to where Charlie died was that he was shot from below. Because I watched his shirt go out, and I watched the friction of his body, and I saw that his necklace broke before he was hit. I thought, honest to God perspective, I believe she is a tried and true psychopath.
This is Erica Kirk.
And I'm not saying that to be theatrical. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I mean, like clinical.
Hyperbolic?
Psychopath.
I mean, I don't understand how people can sit here and listen to a borderline illiterate retard invent theories about how Israel killed Charlie Kirk because he was going to expose them, while she spends every single day trying to expose Israel, but they don't kill her. Where's the logic there that they're letting you speak about this? And the only logic is an insult to you, by the way, is that you are so stupid and so ineffective that you actually are beneficial to them, so they continue letting you speak. That is the best explanation that you could have for why Israel is allowing Candace Owens to exist if they killed Charlie Kirk.
Okay, I'm going to stop for a second. Okay, I need to stop that. I need to stop saying I'm going to stop for a second, because I just be lying. I'm going to stop for a while. Okay, I figured out something. Now, most of you all have seen a country preacher that really doesn't have a high education, but they try to make words sound very highly educated. I'm sure you all have seen this. Some country backwood preacher that uses big words or makes up big words, or he found a big word and tries to use it whenever he can, right? In the chat, green hearts if you know what I'm talking about. If y'all have ever seen that, ever heard of that, somebody that's doing that, please just green heart me so I don't sound like I'm making it up. Okay. This is what I think Candace's problem is. Besides the fact that she is not as intelligent as she purports. One of the things is, wait, hold on. Hold on now. You calling out Calvinists? Hold on now. Be careful there. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so you got me. Okay. I think Candace tries to overemphasize words or tries to pronounce words in a way that she thinks makes her sound intelligent. Hyperbolic, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do that. The word is hyperbolic. But I think she thinks that she adds some kind of an extra syllable. Like my kids like to, they'll say yes. And I always say like you're adding extra syllables to a word. So I think that she feels like if she adds more emphasis to the word, or adds an extra syllable, or maybe adds a foreign pronunciation to it, because I think that's where she's picked this up, is the fact that she's married to somebody who's British. And if you listen to people from overseas or from another country, oftentimes they pronounce very simple words differently because of their vernacular overseas. And I think she's trying to imply that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what she's implying, trying to do. So she, instead of saying hyperbolic, is hyperbolic. Now, I have no excuse for macabre when she said that one, but or some of the others, I can't think of some of the others off the top of my head. But you got my point. I'm wondering if she's trying to make it sound. It's not that. What do you think it is? Yeah, this is perfect. This is my point. Putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Dr. Bodhivakum. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Wait, what did I do wrong? You think something else? Like funeral? I can't even pronounce it like she was doing. Macabre. Oh, that's right. Macabre. That's what it was. So that's what I think. Now, I'm trying to give some grace here, man. It's Sunday Eve, man. I'm trying to be gracious. I'm like, maybe that's what it is. I'm trying to give like some room to figure burial. Y'all are crazy, man. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, that was just stupid. You can't beat that one. She's not gonna beat those charges. That was, and the fact that you all are writing it like she said it, and now I can see it, I can hear it in my head at anecdote. I can hear that in my head now. I'm gonna put all of y'all in 0-second timeout. All of y'all, everybody, the whole chat is going into timeout. He said no grace. Okay, okay, that's fair. All right, no, dog, not. Yeah, she got Dunning-Kruger. She has Dunning-Kruger on speed dial. That's the problem. I think she just has Dunning-Kruger. She is just dumb. Yeah, I mean, I was really trying, y'all. I really was, but now y'all done put me in. I'm going to join you in 0-second timeout. I was trying, man. Yeah, y'all got me. You got me. Yeah, and the whole, like, okay, can we agree that some of it might be she's trying to sound intelligent? Not all of it, of course. But some of it, man, can we at least agree to that? Because y'all killing me over here. Y'all beating your boy up. I said, man, the more y'all put it in here, I'm like, yeah, that does sound dumb. That does sound pretty stupid. Oh, man, Barrett. Yeah, never mind, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Y'all are right. I tried. I'm done. Yeah, y'all got me. I quit. Where's the white flag? I'm waving the white flag. Hold on, I can find me a white flag. Yeah, waving the white flag. I quit. You got me. You're right. I was trying, but I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for Barrett. Barrett, yeah, that one got me right there. I'm done. I quit. Nope. No more grace. Y'all go ahead. Oh man, grandiose. I forgot even how she pronounced it, but man, I forgot about that. Okay, that's what we need to do. Who's the guy? The guy that does the funny skits about Candace and her pronunciations. Not Milk Bar. What's the guy named Lance? His name Lance or something like that? I might need to grab him and just pull all of his together. You're right. Oh, man. Okay, I quit. I give up. I quit, y'all. I'm done. Y'all got me. I gave up. I'm leaving the show. Back to Asmund Gold. Let's go.
About how Israel killed Charlie Kirk because he was going to expose them, while she spends every single day trying to expose Israel, but they don't kill her. Where's the logic there that they're letting you speak about this? And the only logic is an insult to you, by the way, is that you are so stupid and so ineffective that you actually are beneficial to them, so they continue letting you speak. That is the best explanation that you could have for why Israel is allowing Candace Owens to exist if they killed Charlie Kirk. That's it. It's so obnoxious. This person's so stupid.
Some ritualistic thing, or?
Yeah, so for 2 minutes, the people who orchestrated his assassination, it was ritualistic.
Ray, when you told me at dinner that he was assassinated in the middle of a pentagram,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit.
And
man.
someone sent me an old Freemason Bible, and it showed how they believe that you have to be in a pentagram to sacrifice someone. Literally shows you, like, there's the map inside of the Freemason Bible. And I looked at it and I said, Charlie was sitting in a pentagram.
Do you think he was killed because he was going against Israel?
1000%.
Then why are you alive? Then why haven't they killed you? I mean, you're sitting there trying to expose Israel every single day, and somehow Charlie Kirk having it's so stupid that it's so crazy that we listen to this at all.
It's not that I'm not always right. Wait for it 1 second. I'm just not always right now. Okay?
What?
It's not my first rodeo, youngsters, okay? Okay, pal, not my first rodeo. I've been doing this for a little while. I think I know what I'm talking about. So, no, Israel did not kill Top Goy. That was retarded from day one. Israel killed Top Goy. No, bro, Israel did not kill Top Goy. They love Goy. They love their Top Goy, Charlie Kirk. They would have never.
Right.
Anyway, I remember, just briefly, I remember when everyone was saying Israel killed Charlie Kirk. I said, why? Why would they kill him? He was the last remaining Goy that supported Israel out of all of them. I said, Tucker's against Israel. Candace Owens is against Israel. Joe Rogan's against Israel. Why'd they go after Top Goy? And people said, well, you see, because Charlie Kirk was going to let Tucker speak at the America Fest convention. Tucker did 2 events after Charlie got killed, and Tucker is like this with Erica Kirk. So how does that even make sense? They killed Charlie because he wouldn't excise Tucker Carlson. Tucker did a Turning Point event at Indiana University.
There's no logic. And it's like whenever you lay this out, there's no reasoning to any of this.
The assassination. And he was at America Fest anyway, and he's best buddies with Erica. And now they say, oh, well, Charlie was going to persuade Trump not to go to war.
Oh.
Do you guys realize that Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America? You think that the 31-year-old glorified Students for Trump activist was going to prevent a war? Trump has a vice president, a secretary of state, a secretary of defense.
It's just, I mean, whenever you really lay it out, the thing is that whenever you're just watching Candace Owens explaining things, right? Like, it's like, okay. But, like, then whenever you take a step back and you listen to, like, what does that mean? Oh, wow. That's really stupid.
Commander of the Joint Chiefs. National Security Advisor. His son, Don Jr. And you think the Students for Trump guy, who's 31 years old, he was going to say, listen, Trump, we can't go to war. And Trump was going to say, oh, I was about to go to war. But
now
since
Charlie
you said
exactly.
Charlie Kirk was more powerful than Don Jr., who was against the war, Vance, who was against the war, among others, Tucker, who went to the White House 3 times in February trying to persuade Trump. It makes no sense. Anyway. So, yeah, anyone who fell for that
is a retard.
Look, I know it was a lot of you guys. I know a lot of you fell for it. So out of pure self-interest, I'm not going to say you guys were idiots, but...
but... There's a reason why people are called... It's the reason why they call him Goyim, man. It really is.
That was like just a retarded thing to believe.
It was a left-wing psyop? It was. So the left invented the idea that Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel in order to diffuse accountability from the fact that another one of their crazy people flew off the handle, right?
Yes.
That's really it. I will look at this here. Candace, oh God, oh no.
It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I know I'm human, but I don't know if I stabbed you if you bleed, you know?
Breaking moments ago, a man reportedly accused of threatening to kill Erica Kirk. He is under arrest in Texas, according to local media.
What?
Police reportedly saying he posted about a bombing at a Turning Point USA event where Kirk is scheduled to speak next week. TPUSA says the event will go on.
Claiming there's threats. There were severe threats against her, but J.D. Vance, the vice president of the United States, was somehow immune to those threats. The excuses that they're telling us are it's just so ridiculous. Can everyone stop defending these lies? I'm going to show you how they're lying, why they're lying.
Okay.
I don't know why they never stop lying.
Respondent Alicia Cunha live in Denver. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Martha. And this threat not only targeted Erica Kirk, but Turning Point USA events across the board. News stations in Texas report Jacob Wensky of San Antonio was arrested earlier today and now faces...
God damn, what's on his face? What is that, herpes?
I was not ready. Dang, Asman, come on, brother.
Counts for making terrorist threats against Erica Kirk.
Future, the dark future that everyone's always predicting, like the AI future, it's here. We're actually here. I think that we are fighting machines. I think that these people are not humans, that they're sentinels that maybe look like humans.
Sentinels?
And TPUSA's upcoming women's leadership event in that city. According to local reports, San Antonio were alerted to Wensky after he allegedly commented on social media, quote, I know exactly where to bomb.
Because
why would you say that? Why would you, if you're bombing something, why do you say, this is the bomb? It's right here. Guess where it's going to go? It's going to go to downtown, this, I don't even want to say it because then somebody will put it out of context and send it to the police. So just, it's a joke, but goddamn.
They're just stupid,
and
man.
That's listening.
I caught myself.
Is invested in solving this, and so.
Well done,
Investigators, according to reports.
Hold on, real quick, because Asman is cooking. He's cooking, but he also might be stressing you out. He's stressing me out a little bit. I don't want him to get in trouble, so we're gonna do a little station break. All right, we're gonna do a little change up, a little mix up a little bit, break it up a little bit. We're gonna work on some of our pronunciations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got Lyle. That's his name. His name is Lyle Culpepper. All right. We're gonna work on some pronunciation. Let's go.
Okay, Candace, full disclosure, I'm only here because you're the only studio in New York that has air conditioning.
I didn't want to then extrapolate and jump to conclusions.
No, it's extrapolate. Extrapolate, yeah.
Oh, well, what we can extrapolate from...
Do you really think it's pronounced extrapolate?
They then tried to extrapolate that error to mean that...
Extrapolate.
But Xavier Poussard, in his book, Becoming Brigitte, is unequivocal.
Unequivocal? Are you trying to say unequivocal? It doesn't even make sense in that context.
Wouldn't be on the brink of my seat.
Like you were on the edge of your seat. I'm on the brink of a mental breakdown.
Look, the short and the thick of it is...
It is the long and the short of it. The long and the short of it is you don't know the English language. That's the long and the short of it.
We were left to assume that it had been made in the umpteenth hour.
You mean to say is the 11th hour. You mean the 11th hour. For the umpteenth time, you mean to say the 11th hour.
These are the people who you need to stay away with.
People you need to stay away with? Stay away from?
Completely exacerbated every effort.
Wait a second. It's been you all along.
It's me, Joe Biden, in chocolate face. How about that?
Well, there we go. Y'all, he has a ton of these, by the way. Shout out to, I forgot who sent that to me. Shout out. I couldn't remember his name was Lance or Lyle. His name is Lyle Culpepper on X. And he does these all the time. And hopefully you all enjoyed that. Hopefully that was a good one. Yeah, chocolate face was crazy. I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for chocolate face. All right, let's finish up. Let's jump back over here to Asman. Asman, you got yourself together, man. You together, brother. And shout out to Asman Gold. Look at that face he's making. That face is priceless. Let's go.
Reporting say he also wrote in an email, quote, death to Erica Kirk and every single speaker there.
You do this?
America will live on without those scum of this earth.
Oh my God.
Every Christian nationalist shall perish in the bombing that will take place at every single Turning Point rally and event.
Are you just surrounded by robots? Are you a hybrid, Erica? Answer yes or no.
TPUSA responded to the arrest on X, saying the organization takes all threats seriously and is working with law enforcement, adding, quote, we are grateful to the San Antonio Police Department and the FBI for their rapid response and arrest of the individual making these threats. We refuse to let threats silence us.
Good.
We look forward to a successful and inspiring
They need to put
gathering.
that guy in an institution.
Erica Kirk, her family, and the organization she now runs have been under near constant hostility by critics ever since Charlie was assassinated in September. Charlie Kirk's...
It's absolutely sick what people like Candace Owens have done. They've taken a widow of... And again, yeah, I think it's weird that she goes out to all of the fireworks shows and everything like that. Like, I don't like that. I don't think that the optics of it are very good. But, like, the extent that these people take it to is just demonic. It's demonic and evil. And I don't see how you can't see it that way. It is so wrong the way that they have approached this and the way that they've tried to make her out like she was trying to get involved with doing it. It's sick, man. Absolutely fucking sick. And I've called this out the whole time, by the way. I have. And y'all remember 6 months ago whenever I was talking about this, and people were saying that, you know, like, oh no, like the Jews are paying you and everything. I am so glad that retard sentiment is dying now. And it's going to court.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's proven wrong. And it was always bullshit. And every normal person knew it. Everybody knew this. Everybody fucking knew this was bullshit.
Sorry about the language.
Dude, what's going on? They're just stupid. That's the...
You know what? I forgot about the $7,000 payments. Remember that one? Remember that one? Everybody's getting paid $7,000. That one just disappeared. Never a receipt. Never a pay stub show up. That's great. I forgot all about that one. You're getting paid to comment about this. That was wild work. All right, shout out to Asmongold.
The reason why. So you think it's a bit dishonest to throw the baby out with the bathwater? She does raise other valid questions that there are inconsistencies with the FBI narrative and deserve being asked. No, I'm not interested in a person asking questions who thinks they're talking to Charlie Kirk in a dream, who's telling them that Israel killed them. No, I'm not interested in that. I don't care. Oh, but she's just asking questions. Yeah, she's asking retarded questions that shed, you know, basically a shade of doubt on something that everybody knows is what's happened. Like, Charlie Kirk was killed by a psychopathic, retarded, leftist furry. That's what happened. He was killed by a fucking freak. And that's what it was. And again, there are other furries and art assassins. There's other leftists and art assassins. But it was one of them. It was. And anybody trying to say that it was Israel or something else, the reason why they're doing that is you're being psyoped into not being able to correctly identify the people who want to kill you. And it's those people.
Accused killer Tyler Robinson is scheduled for his preliminary hearing in early July. Erica Kirk has been pushing for maximum transparency with the public in that case. As for the San Antonio suspect, his next court appearance is set for August.
Yeah, and so that's it. I'm so glad to see this. I am. Nah, dude, you got tricked. Listen. I view this as a profound violation of my rights as an American citizen that I have to read the opinions of Goyim. I mean, in the Eighth Amendment, it says that there is a law against cruel and unusual punishment. And I don't know where my restitution is. I don't know where I go to file my constitutional complaint. I'm not sure where it is, but I need to find out. And it's got to be soon. You're wrong for thinking she's innocent. I have no interest in listening to people that think like you. You're just stupid. You're not worth even considering or listening to. It's just, again, and what I think is even funnier is that
I'm going to start taking, I'm now taking Asmongold's position on that. You know what? You don't deserve a response. And that's it. You don't deserve a response. Back up real quick. I love it.
I'm not sure where it is, but I need to find out. And it's got to be soon. You're wrong for thinking she's innocent. I have no interest in listening to people that think like you. You're just stupid. You're not worth even considering or listening to. It's just, again, and what I think is even funnier is that whenever these stupid bird brain conspiracy theory ideas come out and people are like, I don't want to hear this, it's stupid. They're silencing us because they know we're telling the truth. No, you're getting silenced because you're fucking stupid.
Right.
You're incredibly fucking stupid. That's it.
Sorry about that.
You find it, do you not find it a little bit strange that a week before Charlie was murdered, he started speaking out against Israel and rejected a gift from Bibi, and then all of a sudden after rejecting Bibi, he gets murdered a week later? No, I don't really find it strange. I bet there's probably been animosity between them, probably between years. I mean, like, what about during October 7th? I mean, yeah, I don't really think so. It's not Israel didn't kill him. What are you talking about? The person said he killed him. Like, there's literally text messages of him saying that he killed him. Also, by the way, this is another thing. It's like, you think Israel. So this is the dichotomy, and like this is the double standard that these animal, like I don't even, they're goyim. They're not animals. Goyim are above animals, but they're below people, right? So this is the goyim standard. The country that is full of the most intelligent, brilliant, strategic, tactical masterminds that have engineered the total control over society for 2,000 years through finance, entertainment, economics, and government capture. The Jews, by the way, this is their idea, that these people, these are the ones that they think, oh, you know what we're going to do? I know what I want to do. Let's get a random retarded furry from Connecticut that has a trans girlfriend or boyfriend to go up on top of a roof and shoot Charlie Kirk in the neck. And I saw somebody else comment on this. I'm not sure if I can find it. Where is it here? Can I hate him, bro. Yeah, this is it. I think if Israel had wanted to kill Charlie Kirk, he would have died in his sleep from an untraceable poison delivered by a random stranger through an umbrella pinprick. It would look like a stroke. I think a trans pervert would have shot him in broad daylight at a university. That's exactly it. You think Israel is this mastermind state, but at the same time, you think that they're not able to figure this out. It's outrageous.
And let me say it again. Charlie Kirk had blood circulation issues. He had circulation issues, hence why he wore those corrective socks. The mastermind behind whatever could have easily given him a prick, and he just flew back from Asia, 14-hour flight from Asia. If anybody's ever done that before, you know that those long trips like that, people with blood circulation issues it's difficult, right? It would have looked just like, oh, he just flew back, he had a blood clot, it's over. No, let's do it all out in public, and let's get the most ridiculous person possible to do it. Like, okay, that makes sense to you, but I am not under any obligation to play along with your insanity, and I'm not going to agree with you because that was it. All right, shout out. What does Amethyst say? Thank you, Amethyst, for the very kind 10. She says this: Goyim is a term for a Gentile, a non-Jew, sometimes a pejorative sense. The word of Hebrew origin was adopted in English from Yiddish, a similar meaning from modern Hebrew. Thank you so much for that. I knew what he was saying. I just didn't want to give it any movement. But thank you so much, Amethyst. I love it. Thank you for the 10. And thank you also, Miss Meekat, with the 5. The projection is coming from Scam Disc. Should be studied. Absolutely, man. She is a projection queen. And I thank you for the 5. And what did you say here? I responded to your email about ChatGPT. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Vanessa. Okay, let's get back. Let's finish up. Asman, let's go.
Outrageous, man. It really is. The fact that you're getting worked up over this shit is fucking crazy. Here's the reason why I'm getting worked up over it, okay? The reason why I'm getting worked up over it is because I see a movement of people that should be aligned with me 100% that are being misdirected and attacking each other rather than identifying the true threat and treating it as such. That's the reason why I'm angry. That's the reason why I'm mad. It's that simple. They literally had the explosive pagers. Yes, definitely. These people are retarded. They are. I don't think they should be allowed to vote.
The preliminary hearing.
Oh, no, wait, hold
Charlie
on.
Kirk assassination case.
Hold on, wait. Oh, it started up automatically. We got to save that one. We got to save y'all. Y'all have been wanting to talk about Ben. I thought this was an excellent video, and we will come to it in a second. But we must, there we go. We got to cleanse our palate from Asmongold. Love Asmon. Think he's a great content creator. But ladies and gentlemen, let's pronounce some more words. Let's go. Shout out to Lyle. Got the volume up, Amethyst. All right, here we go.
Okay, Candace. I know I said I was done, But my parole officer said I either need to do community service, volunteering with people with underdeveloped brain stems, or go back to prison. So
The Matrix hates me. I will never win any more accolades.
you're not going to win any accolades because it's pronounced accolades. So nobody wins accolades because that's not a thing.
You certainly aren't going to win any accolades.
Accolades.
Hollywood.
He handed all these accolades in life.
You are actually retarded.
The Talmud made use of Christian blood obligatory.
Obligatory.
We're obligatory.
Obligatory. Is no one going to stop her? Is no one going to call cut? Nobody?
And we're going to say we're not going to be isolationist.
Isolationist. I want to be an isolationist. I want to go back to solitary.
Oh, lucky for Olivia Duhamel, the statute of limitations had already expired.
There is no statute of limitations. There is a statute of limitations, though, of how long I can do this before I blow my f***ing brains out.
Saying that like she had discovered the statute of limitations was not up. In fact,
Candace, I love what you're doing for anti-Semitism, but you need to learn more words.
I think we might. We might just do one more. We might just do one more. These need to be longer, Lyle. I'm just going to be honest with you. They really shouldn't be this long, this short. That should be the crime. Is the fact that they're that short. That should be the crime.
Okay, Candace, you know the drill. Let's keep it.
Okay, so let's pull this one in. I personally think this is the crime is that these are so short. Let's go. Shout out. We need to tell Lyle, or your boy might need to make a supercut. That might be what I need to do. Shout out. All right, let's go. Lyle, what do you got to say, brother?
Okay, Candace, you know the drill. Let's keep it light and fun. Try not to mispronounce too many words. And you look really cute today. Did you just do something different with your hair?
Mr. Trump, I will assassinate you.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Love the new energy. This is you on medication, I presume?
Get ready, Mr. Trump.
Whoa.
Every day you play this game, I will eliminate one of your family members.
I will say you're getting more words correct, at least.
Last warning, Trump. Barron will be executed for every
Whoa.
day.
Now, this is more like the Candace Owens I know and love. I don't think we could air any of this for legal reasons.
You play this scam, I will eliminate one of your family.
You know, it is shocking that Charlie picked Erica over you. I don't understand it.
And that is the fucking truth.
I am going to just press pause for a second and for my own safety, and I'm going to go somewhere else.
I wasn't ready for that one. Oh my gosh, that was not. I just heard him say Candace. I thought that was it. Now I got to watch it first.
Okay, Candace, I'm going to give this one more shot.
Okay. Wow, I wasn't prepared for that one. That one threw me a little bit of a curve. That one threw a little curve to me. But what? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 2 Canadian. Love your show, Jason. Thank you so much. And what did you say here, Mr. Holiday? What's with the 5? Just want to say thank the Lord for people like Jay Witt, Nick Mata, Ami Kozak, Dana Lash, Ben Shapiro. Y'all notice I pronounced the name right? Mark Levin, etc. Keeping us Jews alive every day. We're doing our best by God's grace. We want y'all to stay alive. Okay, here, let me bring this one in. This one actually has Candace in it, y'all. All right. What you got, Lyle?
Okay, Candace, I'm going to give this one more shot because my therapist says that I need to deal with my issues. So let's just not mispronounce any words this time, okay? Because the Jews will use it against you to make you look dumb. So here we go.
get comfortable, you guys, because it is going to be a long week. I have so many explosive revelations to share with you.
Okay. Revelations. You can do this, Lyle. You can do this. Revelations.
Okay, I'm probably being a little hyperbolic.
Yeah, it's hyperbolic. It's not. I know. It's not like a Super Bowl. Like a hyperbole is hyperbolic.
And I'm not saying that in a hyperbolic way.
Hyperbolic.
You're going to be hyperbolic. And
No one's being hyperbolic because it's not a word, but hyperbolic.
I guess you can just toss another coin in the I told you so jar.
Toss another coin?
Toss another coin in the
Sweetie, toss another coin.
Daily Wire operates like a deranged cult.
Okay, someone please call an ambulance or Hotzola. I think that Candace might have hantavirus from all the rats she surrounds herself with. Okay, Candace, I'm going to give this one more shot because my therapist says that I need to deal with my issues. So let's just not mispronounce any words this time.
It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. Okay, so you all have convinced me. I was trying to be gracious and say, well, maybe she's attempting to add emphasis to words to kind of sound British or sound more intelligent than she is. And you all have convinced me that's not the case. The case is truly that Candace Owens is ridiculous. And you won me over. And because you won me over, you all get a treat. And that treat is, let's go ahead and hear what Ben has to say. All right. So yesterday, Ben Shapiro dropped, I don't know if we want to call it a masterclass, a case study, whatever you want to call it. It was a fantastic video breaking apart how Candace does content. And many of us saw this 1,000 miles away. And I was even worried about, like, why is he saying it like this? So I'm like, he's saying it like Candace says it. It was hilarious. So if you had not seen it, shout out. I'll make sure I leave the link down in the description. But if you have seen it, let's just watch it together. I thought it was fantastic. Ben did a great job calling this out. And I do want to say this as well. The Daily Wire is not bringing in as many views as Candace's show. Okay, that's probably true. That's probably true. The problem is we can change that. We can go and watch his channel, go and give him a little like, all that kind of good jazz like that. Make sure you support. If you like good content or counter Cantifa content, you should go and support it. I just think that that's where we need to remember. Like, sure, we could go against Cantifa and call them a cult and stand against them, which we should be doing. But on the same note, also go support content creators that you actually want to see grow and continue to be productive in the space, such like the Daily Wire and so on and so forth. So just want to put that out there. Let's go. I just thought this was great, Ben. Shout out.
The preliminary hearings in the Charlie Kirk assassination case are now underway. All evidence clearly points to trans-loving gay man Tyler Robinson, the DNA, the texts, the confession, the rifle. But that's not actually the big story today. The big story is that for the last 10 months or so, Candace Owens and her fellow travelers have been claiming not only that Tyler Robinson is innocent, but that the people closest to Charlie, including his friends, his colleagues at Turning Point, and, of course, his widow, were either responsible for his murder or the cover-up of that murder. This is evil. It's disgusting, clearly. Today, we're going to go through and debunk Candace's twisted bullshit and examine the effects of that evil. And we'll talk about what it means for the broader public that such conspiratorial garbage has found significant purchase on the right. So, I've been pointing this out consistently for, at this point, almost a year. What we've been watching since Charlie Kirk's murder on September 10th, 2025, is one of the sickest and most perverse and most evil political character assassinations of all time. It's actually unprecedented. A prominent political figure is murdered, and an attention-seeking...
Wait, did I grab the wrong video? Hold on. Is this the wrong... Wait. This is not the wrong one, is it? Hold on. Let me double check. Let me make sure I'm... Did I... Was somebody saying that? What are you looking at? It's the next video. Hold on. I had them in the list, and I might have hit the wrong video. Let me double check real quick. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. I don't see it. That's the right one. That's the one I had. Is that what it is? He's wearing the same outfit? Okay. Let me double check. Make sure that I have the right video for you. You know what? I think you are correct. You know what? You are correct. Thank you. Who was that told me I was wrong? Wrong video. Who said that? Who told me that? Next video. Shout out. There we go. Because I did have the wrong video. It does look like it looks like the one I was watching, but I apologize. You're correct. So now, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, if this is the right video, please say green hearts in the chat. Let's go. Wait, why is it not going through? Ay.
Deep and detailed investigation. It's not who you think today. Folks, today is a highly important show. Today, we are going to uncover the real murderer of Charlie Kirk. It's time. We've been working for months on a deep and detailed investigation. It's not who you think. Today, we are going to discuss who was really behind Charlie Kirk's assassination. Candace Owens. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. So we didn't want to talk about this. We didn't. But we've been digging. We have been investigating. We've been tugging on every thread, been tracing every single line of investigation to get to the bottom of what really happened. What really happened. What super really happened with Charlie Kirk's assassination on September 10th,
crazy.
2025. The story actually begins before that. In the spring of 2025, when Candace Owens, the podcaster, her brand, was having some trouble. She was sued by the First Lady of France. She was hemorrhaging mainstream sponsors. She was losing her staff. She was feuding with pretty much everybody. And then something changed. Charlie Kirk was murdered. You remember September 10th, 2025? Her Charlie Kirk coverage rebuilt her audience and drove record merch sales. That's what she said. Not me, is what she said. And turned her into the main character in the biggest story in America. I mean, here she was in May of this year.
We are on track for this to be the biggest day in our merch sale history on the website. I love you guys for actually buying merch just to spite the people that were calling for a merch boycott.
You know,
and you got to follow how the.
You know, hold on. I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about it. For some reason or another. Shout out to Ben. I've always remembered her saying that people were trying to institute a merch boycott of her product. That's always stood out to me. Isn't that the problem? Like, if I don't support you, I won't be buying your product. So I'm not doing a boycott. I don't support you. Like, the fact that her audience was that dumb to think, because she was lying. In my opinion, she was lying. Nobody was trying to push a merch boycott. That doesn't even make sense. Hey, let's boycott not buying Ben Shapiro's whatever. Like, we already don't support it. That's dumb. The fact that her audience fell for that is going to have to be studied by science. She made it up. I don't believe anybody was saying that. I don't think a soul. If you were saying that, then let me know. I'm sorry. I just did it. That makes no sense. Okay, I just been wanting to say that for the longest.
Money is structured. You got to follow it. You got to just follow it. Okay. The revenue from this coverage doesn't flow to a human. It flows through a lattice of corporate entities like Candace Owens LLC and George Tom Incorporated. The kind of architecture you build when you want distance between yourself and the product. And the product, by Candace Owens' own on-air admission, had its single biggest sales day in company history because of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Charlie Kirk dies and Candace gets richer, a lot richer. But at whose direction? That is the big question. I mean, Candace has a lot of foreign connections, like a lot. See, here's the thing. Charlie Kirk, at the end of his life, was going after radical Islam. That was his biggest cause just before he was murdered. You'll remember Charlie saying this.
Islam is not compatible with Western civilization. Islam is at odds with all the freedoms that we enjoy. They do not believe in any separation between mosque and state. They do not believe in freedom of speech or freedom of expression. They do not believe in the freedom to criticize the government, the practices that we enjoy so great here in the United States of America. And here's the one thing that's the kicker. You have this axis, again, the red-green axis, this Marxism-Mohammedanism axis. What do they have in common? Even though a lot of the Marxists are lesbians or gays or transgenders, they get along with the Muslims. They get along because they hate us.
This is Charlie Kirk's cause, right? But Candace had lots of new relationships with people in the Islamic world, maybe directing traffic, or we don't know. We're just asking questions. But we're not stupid. Something changed. She suddenly started talking about the magic of Islam. Here she was in March.
These terror groups, these Muslim terrorists, for whatever reason, these Muslim terrorists only want to terrorize to benefit Israel. It's so strange. I cannot work it out. If you're a Muslim terrorist, we want to hear from you. Why are you doing that? Right? Why are you stealing and robbing and doing things down in Congo to the benefit of Israel? We want to hear from you.
That's very strange. More tips came. Someone's gone, hey, I'm a Muslim terrorist and I work for Israel. Why do you do that?
And weird, isn't it? Right? I mean, right? I mean, Charlie starts warning about radical Islam, and suddenly Candace discovers that maybe we've just been misunderstanding Islam this whole time. She literally apologized to Muslims on behalf of America because she says Americans were brainwashed after 9/11 by propaganda. And she didn't even know what a Muslim was. That's what she said. That's what she said. We're not stupid. We're not. She invited Muslim terrorists to reach out to her because, you see, the jihadis are the victims. And if a Muslim terrorist says he's doing it for Allah, well, that's because somebody else wrote the script, probably the Zionists. Hamas says Hamas did it, doesn't count. And ISIS claims responsibility, suspicious. And Iran chants death to America. That's what they want you to think. That's what Candace says. And it's not just about Islam and her newfound magical relationship with Islam. See, Candace developed a really close relationship with Russia, like super duper close, like go to St. Petersburg and hang out with members of the Putin apparatus. Close. Here she was having a good old time in Russia. She also, by the way, speaking of foreign relationships, developed some weird relationships with alleged sex traffickers in Romania. I mean, right there, you can see it with the alleged sex trafficker in Romania. You know who hated sex trafficking? Charlie Kirk hated sex trafficking. Coincidence? Is any of this a coincidence? I'm not stupid. So this is weird, really weird. She's in Romania hanging with sex traffickers. Charlie's condemning sex traffickers. And then Charlie dies. The single most important person fighting radical Islam just gets killed. Convenient, like very, very convenient. A person who knew Candace really well, who texted with her regularly, who would have known what she was up to, maybe suspected what was happening. And then he just so happens to be murdered. And she starts making money. It's just, that's all I'm saying. Some interesting motivation. That's all we're saying. Interesting. But what about means? I mean, murder requires motive and means and opportunity, right? So what about means? Here's the thing. Candace knew everything. She was Charlie's best friend, like his best friend. They were so close, like closer than any humans who have ever lived. She was his best friend. Here she was the day after Charlie was killed.
But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. He was we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother.
I mean, how close was their relationship? I mean, it may have been for her even more than like a brotherly relationship. I mean, let's be real. You don't talk about suspicious. She got married in what is easily the weirdest love story of all time. I mean, she met her husband, George, and she barely knew him. And then they just got married. That's an op, okay? We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Okay, we're not stupid. That's an op. That's an op. Candace supposedly attends a crowded dinner party consisting of 30 people. You want to guess who else was seated at that exact same table? Charlie Kirk. Is that a coincidence? He was there when she met her husband. It was at that exact event that she met George Farmer, who was the wealthy son of prominent British Tory peer, Lord Michael Farmer. Here was Candace describing this with her husband, George.
I sat next to you, and you basically said nothing to me.
Correct. I did what I've done for the past 6 years. I just said nothing.
And it worked.
And it worked. Yeah,
it absolutely
and
worked.
then you married me, so I have no idea why.
Yeah.
18 days later,
Yeah, that's right.
we get engaged.
And I called her and I just said, listen, I know this is completely crazy and we've just met, but how do you feel about getting married to me?
Just real quick. I missed the bit where there was any sort of...
There was literally nothing romantic had been said up to this point.
Okay.
I mean, literally nothing.
So I missed nothing.
We hadn't gone on a date. We had not talked about marriage or the future or anything like that.
All right.
And and she said yes.
Weird, because, there it is. I mean, does that sound natural to you? That sound like people who just met, started dating, fell in love? I mean, you're telling me that the night they laid eyes on each other and the day he proposed, between those two times, 0 romantic overtures, none, no dating, no courting, 17 days later, formally engaged? You're telling me that I'm supposed to believe 17 days from total strangers to securing a multi-million-dollar marriage alliance into the British House of Lords? Into the British House of Lords? I mean, come on. That doesn't just look suspicious. That looks like a strategic corporate acquisition, like big corporate acquisition, like big capitalism at work. What about Charlie? Well, she was acting as his wing woman like manipulating him and his life. I mean, she openly boasted on air about acting as Charlie's personal psychological gatekeeper and his wing woman. Here she was.
I'm going to miss Charlie going on dates and the girl that he liked and me always being the wing woman and him asking. This text message is one of my favorite text messages between me and Charlie when he was getting ready to go on a date. And, he didn't date many people. And he was just kind of in love with this girl. And he was asking me, should I wear this? And this is the text message. It's so sweet. He said, do I have to change this shirt? And I wrote back, yes. And throw it away if you can, Charlie.
I mean, think about what she's doing there, publicly transmitting to the grieving widow, Erica, that she was the one who controlled Charlie's appearance. She was the one dictating his choices long before Erica ever entered the frame. We're talking classic behavioral markers here, folks. Project a phantom homewrecker narrative onto the outside world to mask your own historical boundary crossing infatuation with Charlie Kirk. We'll unspool more of this in just 1 second because we need to get to the actual root truth, But here's an actual, real truth. If you have phone coverage, you need the best phone coverage. And this is why I use Pure Talk. Some people ask me why I've stayed with Pure Talk for so long, and the answer is pretty simple. And something works. I don't spend a lot of time looking for something else. I've had a good experience. Their customer service is terrific. The value is great. So, I stick with them. There's some independent evidence that backs me up here. Consumer Reports surveyed wireless customers nationwide. Only one company received 5 out of 5 stars across every single category. That company, of course, was Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data, 5 stars across the board. They're also matching donations dollar for dollar until they reach $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership. So get in on the action. Head on over to puretalk.com/Shapiro. Switch to the only wireless company awarded 5 stars in every single category by Consumer Reports. No contracts, no cancellation fees, just phenomenal U.S.-based customer service on that 5G network that powers America. Again, that's puretalk.com/Shapiro, puretalk.com/Shapiro. There's something else. Candace, of course, says that Erica was somehow involved in the murder or the cover-up of the murder. But Candace also claims she literally set up Erica with Charlie. Here she was saying that the day after Charlie was killed.
And of course, Charlie fell in love with Erica. That entire journey to me when I was reading through a text is so funny because it was exceptional. I was always leaning into Charlie's analytical mind and making fun of him. Like, oh, well, all we need to do is get a plan. You love Erica? Okay, what's the plan? What are we going to do? What's step 1? What's step 2? And the plan that I came up with instantly was all we have to do is convince her that her last name is terrible. Her last name, she's got to marry you because it's practical. Mrs. Erica Kirk sounds so much better than Miss Erica Francie. What is that last name?
I mean, this is suspicious, right? I mean, so suspicious. I mean, look at those mannerisms, by the way. Like, so suspicious. So suspicious. What are we, dumb? Are we stupid? Use some common sense. Candace says that Erica is now some sort of agent of evil. But Candace helped Erica marry him. So if she was so evil, why would you do something like that? It doesn't sound suspicious, like, at all. Like setting somebody up or anything like that. See, here's the thing. Candace knew Charlie's world from the inside. She knew the personnel, the protocols, the security company. She has said on the record that her security team worked with the very men she now accuses. And she can't think of anyone in private security she doesn't get along with. You know, think about that. Just think about it. Just use your brain. She knew exactly which seams of the story to pull out because she knew all the people involved. I mean, here she was admitting it. Just admitting it right out. Like it's no big deal.
I confirmed this with security inside of Turning Point. There somehow happened to be a leak. And so they can't dispute this.
I mean, she's involved with all of this information and with all the people involved, and she knows all of them. And where was Candace when all of this was going down? We have no idea. None. Where was Candace in the days before September 10th? She admits on air to memory gaps. She says she genuinely forgot an entire trip to Maine. Just blacked out. Do we believe that? That she just forgets things like that? I mean, here she was explaining just a couple of weeks ago that she just blacked out. She's blacked out. What else has she blacked out? What else has she forgotten?
I had a baby, and I think I blacked out after Charlie's assassination and didn't remember that I went up to Maine too. I went up to Maine with my husband in July. Okay. My son was born on May 1st. We were off air. And then the first thing I did was I went with my newborn, Roman, and my husband up to Maine to do Tucker's show. And I did an interview, and I genuinely forgot about this. Like, I genuinely forgot about this.
So, I mean, just gaps in the memory? Weird. So, where was Candace in this time? I mean, Candace had 2 pre-recorded episodes about Brigitte Macron's alleged testicles, September 8th and 9th, but nothing on her feed, September 10th, the day in question. So we just have like a mysterious missing period. Where was she? Was she wearing maroon that day? We don't know. We don't have any pictures of her on those days. None. Now, as we know, because Candace investigated it, there were a lot of decoys, Fed decoys, or Israeli decoys, or some decoys wearing maroon at Utah Valley University the day Charlie was shot. I mean, here was Candace explaining.
When I looked at the footage of Charlie and what happened on September 10th, it struck me as highly unusual that there were so many men wearing maroon shirts. Like, it's not exactly a color that men wear all the time. And there were a lot of men, all of whom were alone, I might add, who went to just hear Charlie Kirk speak alone, and they were wearing maroon shirts. And I just said to myself, this feels like organization to me.
One of the things that really stands out, y'all know how I feel about the maroon shirt argument, right? My alma mater, our color is maroon and white. So I I've done the videos on it, all that kind of jazz. I have tons of maroon hoodies, sweatshirts, and t-shirts. I have a lot of them. I love that color. So, but the fact that she just takes the fact that she doesn't understand it and makes that the litmus test for it not making sense. I've gone, for example, you all know I live down the street around the corner from the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. Well, if you go to Athens and let's just say you just plopped in, you didn't know anything, you went around Athens, you would be very concerned about all these Bulldogs. Like, what is up with these Bulldogs? If I just dropped you in the middle of Athens, you would be like, okay, this is weird that they have so many Bulldogs. Like, what's the deal with these Bulldogs? They're British Bulldogs of all things, right? So, but of course we know that that's their mascot, Go Dogs. But my point is, just because you didn't understand that, just because you didn't know that before time, didn't make it something weird. It just means you just don't know anything. And this is where I think Candace, and I'm glad I stopped right there on this face like this. This is where the problem is. She doesn't know something and she impugns the thing as being good or bad, right or wrong, based upon whether or not she understands it. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's just the dumbest thing in the world. Well, I don't know. I don't understand. Why has everybody got these Bulldogs? It must be something up. Oh, it must be. No, maybe, just maybe. And that's why in my earlier presentation, I said, Candace has got to be humbled. She needs to be humble and say, well, maybe I don't understand. Maybe I need to ask some more questions. Maybe I see it as weird, but maybe there's something else to it. Let me find out some more. Let me ask some more questions. She doesn't do that. And therein is the problem. She doesn't understand a whole lot, but she just, even when she doesn't understand it, she assesses a value to something she doesn't understand. And that's just weird work to me, man. That's some weird work that, okay, I don't understand this. Why? Again, I just think it's hilarious that she impugns maroon. Well, if you go to homecoming this year, there's going to be a whole bunch of maroon and white over there at 830 Westview Drive every year. I mean, it's a thing. Like, what are we talking about? And there'll be a whole bunch of single men walking around wearing maroon. What are we doing? What's going on? And none of them are going to be at the football game. They'll all be at the tailgate. Let's go.
I mean, but what was she wearing that day? Do we know? Do we know? Was she wearing maroon?
I don't know.
Like a student from Texas A&M? Hell, would she even have been admitted to Texas A&M? And also maroon, Candace? Really? You expect us to just believe they had nothing to do with maroon? I mean, Kanye West collaborated. Kanye West, who she's really close friends with, super close, really? Collaborated with Maroon 5.
Come on a
single called Heard 'Em Say in 2005. And we know that Candace Owens and Kanye West are super close, like super duper close. I mean, like really close. I mean, look, there's Charlie in the background of this photo. I mean, it blows your mind. Like, look at this. Kanye West with Adam Levine from Maroon 5, Kanye West with Candace Owens, and Charlie Kirk just standing there like a third man, forgotten man in the background. There are no coincidences. How stupid do they think we are? You think we're stupid? So you got to follow the dots. Kanye West has a song with Adam Levine of Maroon 5. Adam Levine, by the way, is a Frankist. I'll bet you didn't know that. Adam Levine comes from a long line of Frankists. And Kanye West just doing songs with him, and Candace being all close with Kanye. And then a bunch of Fed decoys show up at UVU wearing maroon like a Frankist Satanist would. It would take moves like Jagger to avoid the obvious here. It gets
Moves
even
like
worse. It gets
Jagger.
even worse. For example, look at the wardrobe. Look at the visual staging here. During the height of the summer 2025 broadcast cycle, Candace systematically reconfigured her entire on-air presence to feature deep maroon color blocks. That's the exact aesthetic marker she anchored to her theoretical look-alike phantoms. I mean, look at this. What color is she wearing there? That's right. That's maroon. That's maroon. I mean, look at... Coincidence? Maroon. Coincidence? How about maroon? Maroon. I mean, maybe a little edging on crimson there, but mostly maroon. Criminologists refer to this as rhetorical nesting. That's where the guilty party literally dresses themselves in the fabric of their own conspiracy to normalize that imagery in the minds of the masses. And guys, it gets even worse. I mean, this is nuts. How stupid do they think we are? Do they think we're stupid? They think we're stupid. How dumb do they think we are? See, here's the thing. We know that Candace is technically proficient with microphones. And we suspect that Charlie Kirk wasn't somehow killed by some sort of bullet that magically disappeared. You know, like the coroner's report or the autopsy says. So maybe it was the exploding microphone. But you know who might know how microphones could be rigged that way? Maybe, just maybe, a longtime podcast host who runs her own show. Has Candace ever answered a single question about this? Any? These are questions that require answers. And about her travel, like let's look at September 8th, 2 days before the assassination. Private aircraft depart Nashville that morning. That's the city that she is from. Was she on any of those? We don't have any idea. We don't have any idea. Any one of those flights could have made a brief stop in Tucson. That's 50 miles from Fort Huachuca. We would never know. Tucson is a tactical staging ground. It's the exact location where the corporate aircraft sit before they transition into that black box that is Fort Huachuca. Could that have been a discreet pickup window to bring some sort of unidentified passenger along for some sort of meeting? There are 14 private unscheduled departures leaving Candace's immediate residential perimeter. The mathematical probability matrix dictates a staggering 14.2% chance that her corporate architecture had a body on board. And then what about a cover? But this would require a cover-up, like a big cover-up, right? I mean, like, that's what everyone says when you theorize this. Who would cover it up? Like, who would help cover it up? Here's the thing. We know that Candace is skilled in the art of the cover-up. For example, public accusations and document trails have emerged directly naming her husband, George Farmer, in a high-stakes hit-and-run cover-up in August of 2023 involving a victim named Tracy Robinson. Wait, Robinson. Does that name sound familiar?
I've heard that before.
George Farmer hit somebody in his car, maybe named Robinson. How many Robinsons even are there in the world? How many Robinsons, like Tyler Robinson, have Candace and her husband had contact with? Statistically, something like 1 in every 600 Americans is named Robinson. But you're telling me, you're trying to tell me that Candace and George are involved in 2 separate scandals with people named Robinson? That's like the odds of a lightning strike twice while you're standing on top of a volcano. Let's use some common sense here, people. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. The documented profile in that case alleges that George Farmer wrecked his truck while operating at a staggering 3 times the legal limit, meaning roughly 13 drinks over 4 hours to hit that number, all while unlawfully brandishing a firearm. But what happened to that alleged DUI? You didn't hear about that, right? What happened to it? Poof, it went missing. Poof, poof, poof. And then she just lied about it for years. And we also know, because she constantly talks about it, that she has tons of high-level insider government connections. You want to talk about cover-up? Cover-up? She's got the connections.
She got the connections. She got them.
Here that is, which came in November, my old tweet saying that I had a source inside of the French government because I did. A high government source actually reached out and made me aware. And this is stunning, actually, that we missed this common sense. I should have figured this out all by myself.
So she had the sources, she had the cover-up capacity. So you're talking motive, money, fame, foreign connections, antipathy to things that Charlie was fighting for, and the means, closeness to Charlie's team and friends in the highest places, and the opportunity. I mean, where was she that week? Who was she talking to? And let's be real. I've never seen anything more suspicious than Candace's behavior after Charlie was killed. Manic and panicked and weird, bizarre. Criminologists will tell you it's been proven. Everyone knows this. The guilty party inserts themselves into the investigation. And Candace appointed herself lead investigator on this murder, who attacks every single witness who could clarify the record, who, when asked what evidence would change her mind, has never once answered the question. Now, she keeps telling her audience, citing clinical criteria, that you can see deception on camera. You know, like harsh widening of the eyes, or like a fixed blank stare, a personality that reconfigures for every room. Man, if you watch her show with the sound off, by the very diagnostic rubric she uses to indict Erica Kirk's grief, man, she fails. I mean, the lady laughs while describing a murder investigation. She sells mugs in the same breath as wound packing details. What kind of human does that? What kind of human? I mean, look at this. Look at this face. Look at this face.
You don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
I mean, look at those eyes. Look, the dead eyes. The doll's eyes. Does this look like a grieving best friend? Does she look like a grief-stricken young mother? I mean, look at the kind of earrings she wears. Does a grieving friend wear those kinds of earrings? Those big bangles? Would you wear those kind of earrings if you were grieving your best friend? In a second, we will get to Candace Owens. Why was she so obsessed with Charlie Kirk? What was up with that obsession? But speaking of obsession, I'm obsessed with balance of nature. Balance of nature, we're grieving. Your best.
Are those bangles? Those aren't bangle earrings, are they, ladies? Or those who are fashion forward? Because I don't know. Those aren't bangle earrings, are they? Those are Babels? Yo, wow. Are those bangle earrings? Those are baubles? Y'all are wild. So y'all refuse to pronounce it correctly? Baubles? So they're not bangles, they're baubles. Now, don't make me look this up, y'all. Come on. Bauble. Y'all are crazy. Why are you people like this? Okay. Somebody, okay, can somebody, these are bangle earrings? I did not know that. Ear bobs. Y'all are wild. Those. Why are you people like this, man? Bubbles? That's what they are? So they are. See, I trust you. Because some of you all are, I think you all are playing with, I think some of you all are trying to harass me. Bangles are bracelets. Really? Not okay, let me look at what are bangle earrings, because I think y'all playing with me. What are bangle earrings? Okay, see, that's what I was thinking. Well, they got hoop earrings. Bangle earrings. You know, I'm gonna go to Amazon. That's what I thought they. Oh no, they got a lot of them. Never mind. They got a lot of options over here. Okay, I guess maybe those are bangle earrings. It's clearly it must be like the little clasp that goes around your ear, and it can be big or it can be small. Okay, I got you. Y'all know I'm not a fashion forward kind of guy, so. All right. Okay, let's get back to this. Shout out to Ben Shapiro. Y'all over here harassing us. Let's go.
Best friend. In a second, we'll get to Candace Owens. Why was she so obsessed with Charlie Kirk? What was up with that obsession? But speaking of obsession, I'm obsessed with balance of nature. Balance of nature products excellent. I mean, look at this. Here you have the whole produce fruits. Here you have the whole produce veggies. And over here, you have the balance of nature fiber and spice packet. Okay, this sort of stuff is what gets me through every single day. Because if you think that I'm downing like dozens of fruits and veggies and the fiber and spice naturally, like without any of this every day, like in its whole form, not going to happen. But I do get it naturally via balance of nature because they have a whole health system. It is made from real fruits and veggies and spices and fiber, 47 ingredients from whole food sources. It helps me stay consistent on the fruits and the veggies, even on the days when my diet isn't perfect, which is most days. Go to balanceofnature.com today. Subscribe to the whole health system or any of their subscriptions. Get an additional 10% off with promo code Shapiro. Again, it is very difficult to eat healthy. I mean, I know when you're a kid, your parents are like, just eat your vegetables. Just eat your fruit. It's not enough. It's not enough because you know how much fruits and veggies you have to eat to stay healthy? Well, you can get all of it with balanceofnature.com. The easy way, go to balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro. So here's the thing. This is all part of the plan. Candace's plan. Her investigation isn't just an investigation. It's something more. It's an obsession. Like, that movie Obsession that you can find on Amazon right now, like Obsession. She's become so hyper-fixated on Charlie. She's now attempting to absorb his corporate network to completely replace him. She's spent the last 9-10 months teaching millions of people that nothing is a coincidence. And you know what? She's right, because this isn't a coincidence. None of it. I'm just asking questions, okay? These are just questions. Now, I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking. These are questions, okay? Why can't I ask questions? Why shouldn't I ask questions? Am I just supposed to believe what I see? Am I just supposed to look at the evidence? I'm just asking, okay? And questions, we should all be skeptical. What? Are you like somebody who just believes what you hear? I mean, like, why won't she release her own travel records? What is she hiding? Listen, guys, you can feel it. You don't need to know what happened to know what happened. Somehow. Why else is she so obsessed? Why the granular, why like 100 episodes on this? And there's something else too. Like, I don't like to get personal about this sort of stuff. I don't. But this disturbed me a lot. And so I really feel that I have to talk about it. So last night, the angel Michael visited me in a dream. He was carrying a fiery sword. And on one shoulder, he was carrying a boombox. And then the angel turned on the boombox. And the sound of a Charlie Kirk speech came out. And then, this was the part that really got me. Beyonce showed up randomly. But was it even random? Because then she started singing the 1998 Destiny's Child hit, No, No, No. I woke up with a cold sweat. I was terrified by the power of my vision. Because here's the thing. I don't know, but I know, just as Beyonce sang to me, No, No, No. That song was no coincidence, just as Beyonce sang to me from the dream world. But it's not just dream girl Beyonce. It's sources, really important sources. I have tons of sources, so many sources, endless numbers of sources. Sources so important, I can't name them because, I'm afraid what might happen to them if I name those sources. I mean, look what happened to Charlie. Like, I don't know what would happen if I name those sources and Candace is still out there. What would happen to the sources? I don't know. Listen, I'm told by these really important sources that I can't name, and you can't make me name them. This is a free country. You can't make me name those sources. I'm told by those sources that people in her own circle have lots of questions, like lots of people in her circles, like so many people, like maybe all of those people, like all of them. So yeah, sure. I guess what I'm saying is maybe I can't prove that Candace Owens orchestrated Charlie's murder or was behind it or covered it up or anything. But if you think I'm stupid enough to believe the story that Candace Owens, a powerful person with deep insider government connections and ability to cover things up, if I'm supposed to believe Candace Owens? What do you think? I'm stupid? What are we, dumb? I mean, we're just noticing too many things, you guys. We're not allowed to notice the things.
No, can't.
We'll be remembering how she randomly went missing for a few days and how much money she's made and her sudden weird sympathy for Islam and Russia and sex trafficker allegedly in Romania and her deep state sources and her weird marriage story. How dumb do they think we are? They think we're dumb? They think we're dumb? Is that what they think, that we're stupid? And speaking of stupidly cute, how cute are these bears? How cute are these bears? I mean, these are cute bears, right? They're adorable. And they're available for $89.99. And if you want to support our search for truth, we need your help. Buy this bear for America. I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to buy the theory. A theory that has no evidence, by the way, that Candace Owens is pushing. The one that Candace Owens, with friends in high places and connections throughout the Middle East and Russia, and with embedded agents at TPUSA close to Charlie, wants you to believe. The story about Tyler Robinson and the Egyptian government and Charlie Kirk and the Zionists and Tyler Bowen and Erica Kirk. I demand a full investigation. Kash Patel, where are you? Where are you, Kash Patel?
Where you at, Kash?
Where are you? Attorney General Blanche, where are you? I want a full investigation right now. But let's be real. We know. No one's going to do it. No one's going to do that investigation. You can't trust anyone. You can't trust anyone on this stuff except me. You can trust me, but no one else. And sometimes not even me, but really just me. Seriously, no one except me. And guys, I'm just saying, if something happens to me, I did not kill myself. I'm just telling you, if something happens, I've compiled all the evidence. I've compiled it all. I put it all together. I've packaged it right up. and I've sent it to Lionel Messi, and it's in his inbox right now. And I also promise you, I promise, guys, if you stick with me, there will be more bombshells to come. We're not going to stop. Not for a single day.
Not even a
Not
day.
for a single hour. Not for a
second.
moment. Not for a millisecond. Not for a zeptosecond. We're not going to sleep. We're not going to eat. We're not going to breathe until the true perpetrator is tracked down and this crime is solved. Listen, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to breathe. I'm holding my breath right now.
Okay, I have to admit right here, this part right here where he's holding his breath, I lost it right here. I was rocking with him through the whole thing, but when he started with the zeptosecond killed me right there. That was it. I'm like, you lost me right there. You broke the bit. You broke the bit right there. That was it. He broke it. But now him holding his breath, I think I might have passed out laughing at him holding his breath because I thought that was hilarious. I'm sorry. Ben, this is hilarious. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Let's go.
And now, still holding my breath right now, because we want justice. And we also want you to keep listening tomorrow. Because again, I'm telling you, just telling you, if you listen tomorrow, I will have revelations. They will astonish you.
Astonish.
I mean, like incredible stuff I'm getting from my sources every single day. These are the kinds of revelations that will stop you in your tracks. Literally, you'll just be walking and then you'll stop walking when you hear them. You'll just be standing there in the middle of traffic, paralyzed to oncoming trucks because of these revelations.
These revelations are...
And listen.
Wow.
Listen. The only person who could possibly get me to stop is Candace Owens herself. Because listen, Candace Owens, she was BFFs forevs with Charlie. She was his bestie McBestie. And so I have to honor her request. So if Candace asks me to stop, I will. If she asks me to stop, I will. Unless she asks me to stop. That's when I know she did it. I mean, I don't know. But I no.
Woo! All right. I got to stop right there because that music is going to get us in trouble anyway. Let me play and get that out of there because that music will absolutely get your channel shut down.
In just a second.
Okay, there we go. All right, we'll come back to that second part. Shout out to Ben. I appreciate him, man. Really do. Hey, but you know who else I appreciate? That's right. I appreciate Mike for blessing 10 people with memberships. Look, y'all, if you got a membership from Mike, blessed 5 of y'all with memberships, do me a favor. Say thank you, Mike. Put his name on it. Thank you, Mike. And then also make sure you run over to the community post and check out all the membership benefits that come along with that. Shout out to Mike, man. Thank you so much for that, Mike. That's very kind of you. All right, there we go. Thank you, Mike. Getting some blessing folk. The zeptosecond. I was not prepared for zeptosecond. I was rolling with him until he said zeptosecond, and then I was like, what in the world is that? And then he started holding his breath. I was done. Shout out to Furball. Said this, speaking of fashion, did you happen to see the dress she was wearing in Spain? Gosh, no, what did she wear in Spain? Please, email management. I'll pull it up. Maybe we'll look at it. What is she wearing? I have no idea. Thank you for the 10. I will look, or somebody's going to email management, jwitt@jwitt.com, and we will enjoy it for the laugh that it is. What did you say here, SC Dog? Candace Owens does not read dyslexic. She speaks dyslexic. Wow. I like to say she speaks in cursive, but I'll take that. She speaks dyslexic or she speaks in cursive. Whichever way you want to go with it, I'll roll with either one for sure. Thank you so much for the 2 and supporting the channel. All right. So, merch teddy bear. Do they have teddy bears? That would be kind of funny, though. A teddy bear would be kind of funny. It would be like a special project, though. We'll have to look into that for sure. All right, good people. Let me see. Let's get back over here with Ben. Oh, thank you so much. What'd you say here? I watched Frank Turek video yesterday. He put Candace out there in the open. You can choose whom you want to believe. Shout out for sure. Isaiah, I appreciate you. I was going to look at Frank's video, but then I was like, I got this long video I wanted to look at from Ben, plus I got Graham Allen's video coming up after this one. So we might look at Frank's tomorrow. But thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel and being out there in Australia. All right, let's get back over here to Ben. Ben is killing me, man. I was not prepared for that thing at all. All right, let's go. All right, here we go.
I'm going to explain to you what we just did here. Like why that stuff all sounded the way that it did. What Candace does every day, in other words. We're just going to break it.
It really was.
But speaking of breaking down things, well, you want to talk about things that you actually need. Not, like the trash that Candace is spewing, but things you actually need. Sleep, very high on that list. Okay? Right now, I am preparing for a lot of bad nights sleeping, which means that when I am sleeping, I need it to be good. I need it to be solid. I need to not worry about tossing and turning on an uncomfortable mattress. We're about to have a baby, and that means sleep is about to go to 0. So my sleep is just that much more valuable. Thank goodness I have a Helix sleep mattress. Helix offers over 20 mattress models. Take a quick quiz, get matched to the right one for how you actually sleep. Your position, your temperature, your firmness preference, all of it. Free shipping, a 120-night sleep trial, and the Happy with Helix guarantee make it completely risk-free. It's the most awarded mattress brand out there, tested and reviewed by Forbes and Wired. This is prime time for the sale and for your sleep. Don't let either one pass you by. Head on over to helixsleep.com/Ben. Get 20% off site-wide, 25% off Luxe mattresses, 30% off Elite mattresses. That's helixsleep.com/Ben for 20% off site-wide, 25% off those Luxe mattresses, and 30% off Elite mattresses. Okay, so the thing that we just did right there, that's the entire business model of the Candace Owens Show every single day. That's the product. So you may recall a while back.
Real quick, I want to point out something. Just in case people were wondering, Ben Shapiro has put together a program and put together a show that advertisers want to advertise on. So he does the ad read. So people wonder, like, why don't I skip the commercials when I know he's reading the ads and stuff like that? Look, I'm sitting there using Ben's content to have fun and add commentary to it. And I think the right thing to do, my perspective is the right thing to do is to let him at least run his ad. He's worked hard to get these sponsors. He's worked hard to do that. So that's why I run the ads. That's why I don't cut the ads out anymore. So that's it. So just want to be fair to Ben and other content creators. Look, there's content creators I don't even like, and I still will let them run. If I'm commenting on their content, I'm gonna let the ad run. Now I can cut out the YouTube ads, sometimes, but those ads, if they're doing the ad read, I gotta give them respect. So that's why I do this. Just in case anybody was wondering why I never stop it or try to zip through it, or I used to do that, but now I'm like, you know what? They worked hard for this, and one day maybe I'll work hard enough, and maybe Adidas will sponsor me, maybe Stanley will sponsor me because I want a dark blue cup. Anyway, so that's it. All right, let's get this dance going. Back to Ben. He's explaining how he did that and why he did it like that. Let's go.
View what we call the QED framework: fake questions, fake evidence, fake defenses. And this is what conspiracy theories rest on. Everything that I just said about Candace, she has done to Brian Harpole, to Kirk, to TPUSA, to me, to the truth, piece by piece. So just going to break down again the sort of tactics you see being used here, because again, actually, it needs to stop. Truly, it needs to stop. Okay, so first, fake questions. So start with the kind of tactic I just used. Why won't you release her travel records? Okay, that question presupposes there's something in the travel records. As you can tell, it flips the burden of proof. In an actual court, in actual journalism, in a freshman high school logic class, the person making the claim carries the burden of proof. Just asking questions lets you make an accusation while pretending that you're actually, being an honest truth seeker. And this is the load-bearing wall of 9-10 months of her Charlie Kirk coverage. Why didn't anyone call 911? Who are all the guys in maroon shirts? Why is there no footage? Lots of just asking questions, each one smuggling in the premise. There's a cover-up, the footage exists, and it's being hidden. Grief is choreography. Right? She ran it on me the other day. What does Ben Shapiro know? That was her actual episode title. So here's the things that I know. Precisely what the evidence says. That's all the things that I know. Because again, I am not a con artist. Now, one of the best things about just asking questions is that you get to focus on motives. You get to suggest that motive itself is theoretically evidence. So what you do is you say things like, who benefited? Candace's merch sales. And it sounds damning because it's actually true. She made a lot of money off this stuff. But is Candace Owens somehow implicated because of the fact she made a lot of money? Of course not. By that logic, funeral homes are serial killers and firefighters commit arson. Motive tells you maybe where to look for evidence, but it's not evidence itself. So when Candace points at raises given to Charlie's security team, or at Erica running Turning Point, or at anyone whose life continued after September 10th in any way, that is the same empty nonsense. Life went on for you, therefore you wanted him dead. Okay, on to E, fake evidence in QED, fake evidence. So Candace has literally tried to present dreams as a data point on her show. Not just her dreams, viewers' dreams, read aloud as corroboration. I want you to sit with the fact for a second that I did not have to invent the dumbest piece of evidence. It was always in the record. It was already in the record. She did it. Then there's the secret source, right? She does this all the time. My version was, I'm told by people in her circle, unverifiable sources, conveniently unfalsifiable. Now, she has a version with a name, Mitchell Snow, and a lawsuit attached because Snow claimed he witnessed Charlie's security chief, Brian Harpole, coming out of a classified meeting at Fort Huachuca the day before the assassination. And Candace called him credible, told her audience she'd verified it, and predicted a full confession from the government. Harpole's complaint says his travel records put him in Dallas that day. He's never set foot at Fort Huachuca, and that she had access to records contradicting the story and kept broadcasting that anyway. That allegation, knowing falsity, is now for a federal court in Tennessee to decide. That's what happens when I'm told by secret sources meet something called discovery. A cherry picking and apophenia, that's pattern seeking, did the rest of the case. The Daily Wire security overlap, the memory gaps. Now, each of these things is like a real boring fact, ripped from context and then arranged into a constellation, like Charlie Day, It's Always Sunny style. And that's Candace's entire shtick. Freeze frames of a car interior, crowdsourcing the comment section to identify a bag. Someone will recognize the brand. A widow's face, graded frame by frame for insufficiently authentic grief. See, we human beings, we're pattern-seeking machines. Point that machine at 50 hours of footage on the worst day of someone's life, you will find anomalies because reality is filled with weird things and anomalies. Okay, finally, fake defenses, D. Here's where it gets airtight, and I mean this as an insult. If you ask Candace what evidence would change her mind, she will never answer the question because that's non-falsifiability. That's the signature of nonsense. When the accused security chief did not respond to her text, that became evidence of guilt, the so-called Kafka trap. That's where both denial and silence convict you. And then when Brian Harpole did respond publicly on a podcast, that became evidence he's not a private citizen, and now he's fair game. Heads, she wins. Tails, you're in on it. And then when one claim collapses, the goalposts magically sprout legs. Charlie was killed by an exploding microphone. No. It turns out that he was shot, but he was shot from below. No, it turns out he might not have been shot from below, but he might have been shot from above, but not in the way you think. It was the security team. No, it was a Pentagon official. No, it was a meeting at an army base. No, it was foreign intelligence. Every debunking is absorbed as proof of a deeper conspiracy, the deep play. Why is Ben so defensive? Why is Harpole suing? They must be scared. Now, listen, I predicted that she would do this stuff in writing months ago, not because I'm psychic, but because her playbook has only one page. The escape hatch every single time when it comes down to it, well, that's just my opinion. It's not a fact. And where there's smoke, there's probably fire, but I have not personally confirmed the fire. So this is called the Mott and Bailey tactic. You spend an hour in the Bailey accusing named living humans of conspiring to murder their friend or their husband, and then you retreat to the Mott. And listen, I'm just a truth-seeking, honest mother. Can't I just ask questions? Why can't I just ask questions? I mean, like, is it legal to ask questions or is it now illegal? So again, QED, fake questions to plant the premise, fake evidence to dress it up, and fake defenses to make it unkillable. I built a ridiculous conspiratorial murder case against Candace Owens in 2 minutes using her own toolbox. And the only reason it was funny instead of like evil is you know that I was joking. She is not joking. And there is a call.
Dubra, thank you so very much for the $50. Said, toward the dark blue Stanley, you sure you don't want a maroon one? Thank you for all you do. Shout out. That's hilarious. Actually, I should get a maroon one. No, because if I did, I promise you, actually, a dark blue one would probably get stolen by President Firstborn when she goes back to school next month. So actually, in the maroon one, maybe I'll get a maroon one after she leaves because I can see her trying to accidentally load it in the car. I know her. I know that girl. Shout out for sure. Okay, let me push an idea. I understand that what Ben was doing here was a joke, but can we be serious for a second? Can we be honest for a moment? How in the world? Now I understand he's saying that it's a joke. He's saying that we know that it's not true. But do we really? Do we really? I don't think we do. I think that there's a lot of room, as much as we got issue with, as much as Candace has pointed the finger at Erica, I think that, you one finger pointed at you, there's three fingers pointing back. I mean, whatever. There's a lot of questions we need to have about Candace. I don't think that's a reach at all. I don't think that, I'm sorry, Ben, I don't think that you gave us something that was actually not true. Or, I'm sorry. There's a lot of questions. Who stood to benefit the most from Charlie's assassination? There's a lot of questions. A lot. If we're going to do all this that y'all dragging Erica, then you better attach Candace to it too and do Candace just as much. It is some dark humor, but I think it's more true than false. Well, let me say it like this. If we could rewind time to the moment that Charlie Kirk died and said, okay, wait, who do you think would, and who do you think is guilty of this? And we knew nothing. The friend, and we described the person, his wife or Candace, and we described them to a T, what we know about them. I don't think we would have come up with the conclusion that it was Erica. I don't think so. Not from the beginning. I don't think so. And I still don't believe it was Erica. Let me just say that real quick too. But I'm just reading through it again. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think there's something there. I don't think Ben, this was not a joke. I think this is some dark humor, sure, but I think this is some Black Mirror stuff right here. Let's go.
Cost to that. Now, enormous swaths of the country have spent this entire week as a country focusing on a delusional podcaster who is mostly interested in cash and clicks. What we haven't spent the week doing, focusing on the matrix of violence created by radical left-wing ideology. The thing that actually killed Charlie, an actual human with an actual family. We should have been spending the week fighting the radical trans ideology that left Charlie's dead body. We should have been doing that for the last 10 months. Instead, we've been spending it debating whether Candace Owens understands how time zones and physics work. That's not just a problem for us or for Candace Owens. It's an existential problem for our society, because when an entire society redirects its attention from true evil in favor of distracting idiocy, true evil continues to grow in the shadows. But here's the thing. There's a real evil that was growing right out there in the open, right there. Because what Candace is doing is her own kind of evil. The evil of conspiratorial garbage masquerading as fact-finding, destroying both brain cells and lives. Because here's the thing. It's not just that Candace's nonsense makes people dumb, although it does. Candace's evil grift has real life costs. Real costs. Brian Harpole is a real human who, according to his lawsuit, spent the day his client and friend was murdered covered in his blood, trying to save his life, and has spent every day since being called an accomplice by thousands of strangers. Erica Kirk is a real widow, raising 2 real kids, while former friends grade her tears for authenticity, and reports are written about the number of death threats she receives. Tyler Robinson, the person who actually shot Charlie, and the person actually charged with the murder, whom prosecutors say acted alone, becomes an afterthought. Hell, Candace has even said she's willing to aid the defense in this case. Skepticism is healthy. Skepticism means you follow the actual facts and evidence wherever they lead. But what Candace is doing is precisely the opposite, deciding where she's going and then calling the drive research. Now, all this is destructive, and that's actually the point. To tear down institutions that have stood firm through the worst moments of Western society, to wreak havoc, to sow doubt, to build a following, to gain clicks, to make money. That's the game. The audience is the pawn. See, when you start with a premise as ludicrous and evil as Candace is, that a grieving widow collaborated with foreign influencers and foreign influences and shadowy cabals and members of TPUSA to murder her husband or cover up that murder, or that a foreign leader ordered the hit of a popular conservative commentator to drag us into a war, or that an organization plotted the assassination of the person at the head of the organization to line their own pockets, you're forcing the audience to make a choice. Are you going to reject these insane scenarios, or are you going to follow Candace into battle?
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I need everybody to do me a favor in the chat. Please just type the name Mary. Type Mary in the chat. Type Mary in the chat. If you don't mind, trust me. Y'all, I'm traumatized, and you are going to have to experience this traumatization right along with me. Everybody just put Mary in the chat. Oh, my gosh. Somebody told this grown backside woman that I don't believe that Candace has friends. I really, truly don't believe that Candace has friends. Oh, you know what? This is interesting. And let me pull it in. Y'all are like, what are you talking about, Jason? What, like, yeah, we need it. Yeah, y'all gonna be traumatized. We might even need a palate cleanse after this picture. So I said, send me the picture, and somebody sent me the picture of Candace. This is Candace at somewhere in France, or Spain rather, please forgive me. Remember, there's a French hit on her life. Remember that, y'all. Don't forget. Let me see. Last night in Spain. This dress right here. I'm sorry. Okay. That dress is highly. I mean, everybody else is dressed like they. I don't know, man. This poor woman, man. Does anybody care about her? I mean, they look like maroon pasties. That's what I thought they were. Starfish and coffee. Maple syrup and jam. What in the world? Does anybody care about you, Candace? Does anybody? Who cares for Candace? Like, wait, where is the care? Where is the love? What in the world, Mary? Why did you send me this? Now I gotta go Clint. Lord have mercy. Okay, y'all can say I'm being petty. That's fine. Okay, they're palm trees. Okay. That's just such an inappropriate. And isn't this the Carrie, the new woke right Barbie? Isn't this her on the left? Let me know if that's her. Whatever. I can't remember the chick's name. You know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about. What is the name of that person? She looks like she's wearing a nightgown. It just looks inappropriate. Like, I don't know where y'all are. It looks like they're at a dinner. I think that's fair to say, right? Okay, we can see that. I mean, it looks like you would be outside, but why is everybody else dressed differently than you? Like, to this degree. They're long dressed and such like that. You're wearing something that looks like pasties on. That just looks inappropriate, man. There it is, Carrie Perjean. Okay, got it. The fake Megyn Kelly. The other Megyn Kelly. No, that's who that is. Oh, that's not Perjean? That's not her? That's not her? Yeah, I got it. I might have to bring Ben back in here. Ben, help us out, Ben. All right, we got to bring Ben Shapiro back. Shout out to Ben Shapiro. All right, we got to hear some logic up in here.
But once the ladder is chosen, you have now opened yourself up to going down the deepest, darkest rabbit holes imaginable. You have let the conspiratorial demons in. You have joined a cult. What can I believe? Is the evidence being presented before my eyes even real? No way. What is real? Who shot Charlie? Who shot JFK? Are the pyramids real? Are the birds real? Do the Jews control a space laser? Real? Who is out to get me? How is the game rigged against me? And by the way, the last couple questions, that's the ultimate goal. Demoralization. To teach everybody that everything is broken and nothing is real. You can't trust anything. You can't trust institutions. You can't trust values. You can't trust morality. You can't trust the scientific process. You can't trust anything.
Nothing.
There's only one person you can trust. The conspiracy grifter behind the microphone. Okay, that brings us to what actually happened yesterday in the preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson, the alleged murderer of Charlie Kirk. So it turns out that Erica and Charlie's parents have asked all evidence in court to be shown publicly. So clearly, if they're engaging in a cover-up, it's the world's weirdest cover-up because they want everything to actually be shown publicly, which is typically not what happens when you're looking for a cover-up. According to Andrea Burkhart reporting, for 10 months, the victim's family has waited for this preliminary hearing. Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, and his grieving parents traveled to this courtroom for one reason. This is their court filing, to be present at these proceedings and to bear witness to the evidence concerning the death of their husband and son. At certain points throughout the preliminary hearing, the Kirk family sat in the room while evidence was admitted but not presented for their viewing. They were present in body, yet denied the very thing their presence was meant to secure, their ability to meaningfully observe the preliminary hearing. And again, they say that they just want everybody to be able to see the evidence. Their filing says, in the absence of transparency, speculation and conspiracy theories related to the tragic assassination of Mr. Kirk will continue to proliferate in the public domain, breeding doubt and distrust in the judicial system, which, of course, is a reference to Candace and her cronies. And well, Tyler Robinson's defense, they thought that it would be a good time to dig at Erica Kirk and Charlie's parents.
And I want to point out to the court, Ms. Kirk has been very adept at holding press conferences at which she has revealed evidence. She has represented that the state is her attorney. She has access to all the evidence that the state has publicized and that the media and her own lawyer argues is already in the public domain. So they're perfectly free to go outside this courtroom under the court's protective order. They're free to go out and hold press conferences and announce to the world outside the courtroom what they think the evidence is. They have the availability of that evidence. But the court's role, I think, at some point is to exercise some control, move the case forward, and especially when we have witness availability problems.
I thought that was really low budget.
Again,
I thought that was really low value to do that. But that's another reason why, in my opinion, they're trying to force the state to take the death penalty off the table. So they're going to demoralize the family every time and drag this out as long as they can to force them to be like, please just give them whatever. Give them a jaywalking ticket so we can at least get some kind of rest, some kind of reprieve, some kind of justice for Charlie. And that's what I think. Because that was low budget what he did. That was like school on Sunday, man. There's no class at all. Let's go. Oh, but we do have this. SC Dog said with the 5, I tell my sister she's speaking cursive when she drank too much wine. Well, there we go. Shout out to your sister. Tell her stop drinking too much wine. Just a little bit, just not too much. Okay, let's go.
Attorneys are trying to do on the defense side are basically attack Charlie's family and suggest that something untoward has happened because they're talking about the case publicly. Well, the evidence has been public for quite a while in this particular case. So Tyler Robinson's defense, one of the things you'll notice is that they're not using any of the ridiculous material that Candace Owens has tried to present to exonerate Tyler Robinson because it's just ridiculous and specious. Instead, what they're trying to do is suggest that the Kirk family should not be talking about this case outside of court. But the actual presentation of evidence yesterday in court, and remember, it's a preliminary hearing. This is not the trial. This is just to show that there is a colorable case sufficient to overcome the possibility of reasonable doubt. Okay, so some of the evidence that was presented was Lance Twiggs, who is the trans boyfriend of Tyler Robinson, left a note under his keyboard. Twiggs confirms that Robinson left a note under his keyboard that admits to everything.
Do you recognize that on the screen there?
Yeah.
What do you recognize it as?
That was the note under his keyboard that he was referring to in the first text of that chain.
Okay. So where did you find this?
On his desk underneath his computer keyboard.
The note, by the way, read, quote, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Okay, and then, again, the way this worked was, it wasn't a full-scale interview of Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs, instead, it was about a 20-minute tape that was played of Lance Twiggs in court. Well, in the tape, Twiggs says that he talked with Robinson the day after, and Robinson started crying and saying that he wishes he hadn't done it.
So he acted erratically. Was he pacing? Was he just sitting down, relaxing?
No, he was walking around a lot.
Right, and that's within the home?
Mm-hmm.
And did he talk about what he had done?
Didn't go into detail. I just asked him in person if what he said was true the night before, and he said it was. He started crying a little bit and said he wishes he hadn't done it.
And then Twiggs said in the tape as well that Robinson said he was going to turn himself in. Of course, you saw the tape yesterday, we showed it on the show, of him moving toward the police station to turn himself in.
And then eventually said that he would talk to his parents or turn himself over.
Okay. And when you left, was that how you left, understanding that he was going to turn himself in or go to his parents' house?
Yeah.
Twiggs also testified that Tyler Robinson had asked him for a tool to engrave bullets. This is about a month before the shooting.
The Dremel that you talked about, you said he had asked for that, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And had he told you it was to inscribe bullets?
Yeah.
And so did you have a Dremel then?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in our, our apartment, we had a section where we kept all our, random tools for household stuff in our, lower basement level pantry. So, yeah.
Okay. And did you give that to him or tell him where it was?
I just told him where it was, yeah.
Okay, so Jen Falmoina, who is a sergeant with the State Bureau of Investigation, explained the photos of Robinson's engraved bullets and what was on them.
This is the cartridge case that was recovered from the gun.
And what position was this in the gun?
This was this is what was in the chamber.
Okay. And the chamber meaning that's where a cartridge is before or when it is fired, correct?
Yes.
Do you notice an inscription or an etching on this cartridge case?
Yes, I do.
Will you read what that says?
Yes. Notices bulge.
And if we can go down to page 2 of the exhibit, will you read what this says?
OWO, what's?
And to page 3.
This.
Okay, and the police also explained the bullets themselves. It turns out that the bullets themselves are soft point bullets. Okay, they are designed, soft point bullets, to expand or mushroom on entry. They're not known for producing an exit wound. So again, all the conspiracy theorists have been doing this routine, like what happened to the exit wound? Why is there no exit wound? The bullet is literally designed not to create exit wounds. That is what it is designed to do. The police also revealed photos of Tyler Robinson's texts directly on his phone. Remember, we were told those texts were fake. Here they are directly on the phone. According to Fox's Matt Finn, Tyler Robinson, the alleged murderer, was squirming when the rifle and his texts were displayed.
When they got to the point discussing the rifle that was used, Tyler Robinson was squirming, apparently uncomfortable, swinging in his chair, scratching his nose. He looked uncomfortable with the texts that were being discussed.
Now, it turns out that pretty much all of these facts were in evidence within the very first days. And we have not found tremendously new material here. Like all of this was clear from the very outset, So you wonder how the kind of conspiratorial trash that Candace Owens has been pushing received this much play. One reason, of course, she has a big audience, but there's another reason, which is quote unquote mainstream figures humoring and echoing all this stuff, whether it's Tucker Carlson claiming that actually Charlie was killed over Israel, or whether it was Megyn Kelly continuously saying for the last 10 months that she is not going to condemn anything that Candace was doing here. So now, at long last, Megyn Kelly has said, hey guys. It's time to follow the evidence, says Megyn Kelly. Oh, is it now? That's fascinating because you spent 10 months saying that you would rather die than condemn Candace Owens for doing what Candace Owens was doing. So Megyn Kelly, here she is now following the evidence. Wow.
We have to deal in evidence. This is not an okay time for who might have been on Charlie's bad side, who might have been threatened by Charlie, who might have been mad at Charlie. We have to talk about evidence at this stage. It is time to put up or shut up. And what we see is no evidence that will lead us to believe anyone other right now than Tyler Robinson was responsible for this cause.
You know when would be a good time for her to say that? I don't know. Maybe back in September of 2025. What changed between now and then, by the way? Now it's time to listen to the evidence? Now it's time for people to put up or shut up? Weird. By the way, earlier this week, you had Megyn Kelly saying people should leave Erica alone just for this week. Which people? Who?
I got to
Ben
say,
is hilarious.
It's been kind of crazy to watch Erica have to sit through this and have to deal with all of this. And I really, really wish that the people who have doubts about Erica Kirk would just keep them quiet this week. I mean, whether you like her or you don't like her, hopefully the human inside of you can see how difficult this is for her and the family to sit in there and have to listen to this and have to be feet away.
What is that around her neck? What is that? What is this? Let me see if I can zoom in. I cannot zoom in. What is that?
From
I don't know what I don't know what that is, but it just looks weird. Megyn Kelly, goodbye. Goodbye, Megyn Kelly. Bye, goodbye. Have a good trip. Take care. Nobody listens to you anymore. Yeah, this is crazy work. Okay, let's go.
Tyler Robinson, and then soon the videotape of the lover, and they're removing themselves for the most graphic pieces of the testimony, but they're hearing enough. This is going to be intensely upsetting.
And this is going to, wow. Has anything else been intensely upsetting over the last
I don't
2 months
know.
or
It's a
so?
great question.
I don't know. But now would be like an amazing time for Megyn Kelly to, maybe talk about the people who are attacking Erica Kirk. You know when else would have been an amazing time, anytime over the past 10 months. But in that very same broadcast, here was Megyn Kelly when asked directly about Candace Owens' perverse attacks on Erica Kirk and TPUSA and everybody else. She was confronted, unfortunately for her, by one of her own guests on this. And here she was.
I mean, I don't agree with Candace's theory of this case, but I have to say, I genuinely believe she was traumatized by watching her friend
was
die.
she?
I can
She
relate
was.
to it. And I think she's
Not
in
Erica,
earnest.
she was.
And I think she distrusts authority. I don't agree with her, again, Matt, but I just and I know people have very strong feelings about her. I just...
Oh, do they?
I think she's in her own search for what she believes happened here. And
Her own
she
search
has
now.
zero
She's on a
trust
journey.
in official words on anything.
That's
amazing.
what it is. She's on her own journey, guys. We got back. She's on her journey. She's searching for her truth. She was traumatized, which is why it's totally fine for her. I mean, she's a young mother, is what Megyn originally. She's a young mother, and she's not going to say anything about a young mother who is busily attacking a young widow mother. She's not going to say she's traumatized. Here's the thing. Wicked grifters like Candace Owens can't do all of this alone. They can't do it without a little help from the friends. Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Sean Ryan and the rest of the conspiratorial clown car. But don't worry, the fearless search for truth in Podcastistan continues. What an amazing video you just watched. Wasn't that amazing? Well, if you think so, head on over to dailywire.com/subscribe to watch the full show ad-free, or check out this crazy story here.
It was good. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. That was fun. Okay. I'm looking online to try to see what that necklace was about. It looks like ChatGPT is saying it thinks it's a letter M. I have no idea what it is, though, but it looks dumb. Conspiratorial clown car was crazy. That one did cook. Absolutely. She's showing a lot of grace to Candace. Goodbye. Y'all go ahead and keep that. Just go ahead and you can have it. It's an M. Okay, that's what ChatGPT said as well. So, I mean, it could be an M. I mean, that's fair. I think Ben is actually a really good podcaster, truth be told. I don't know what they need to do Daily Wire as their business model, but I think he does great work. I have no problem with Ben's work at all. Another person I don't have any problem with is Graham Allen. We're going to look at Graham Allen in a second, but let me just make sure real quick. I said, thank you so much. She looks like she's wearing a nightgown. Yeah, Candace's dress was, I don't know, that did not do anything for me. That did not help me at all. Not one bit. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you, everybody. So tonight we were just going over a lot of the theories that Candace has put out there in the last 10 months, how they were disproven during the Tyler Robinson preliminary trial. Just had a little bit of fun back and forth discussing it. Yeah, I think it was an M. But we just went over Ben Shapiro's video. We looked at some other good ones. We're going to end with Graham Allen because he was there in court as well. Oh, this is interesting. It's not the zodiac sign for Scorpio. It's a Scorpio sign. Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Which looks kind of like an M. All right, I can dig it. Interesting. Okay, before we get out of here, I had Graham Allen. Graham Allen was in court this week as well, so I wanted to bring him in. Tomorrow, you all have suggested some other people as well. We might do a show tomorrow evening. I'll let you all know during the day. But I want to hit this one up real quick, so let's go ahead and get at it. So let's get active. Thank you, everybody who's tapped in. If you didn't already, please go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Help your boy out. Help me out. Did I earn it? Let me know. Let's go ahead and bring Graham Allen up in the building. Graham and Todd, what's going on, my brothers, my brothers? Let's go. Y'all know how we do it. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Yesterday in the courtroom, again, we had some of the biggest reveals that we've had yet. A lot of information that we had not seen before, all of these things. So let's start at the beginning. The first thing I noticed yesterday was different. I told you guys Wednesday was a pretty emotional day. It was a pretty discouraging day because the entire court date, as we talked about, not a lot got done. Nothing got introduced because the defense took up the entire day arguing over this Lance Twiggs video. We did get to see that, just like we talked about. The one thing that did shock me, I was wrong yesterday. I said I would be shocked if they let the text messages and the Discord chat get published out there to the world, and the judge did. So I was shocked there, but I was very happy that we got that part. The one thing was the letter. The letter wasn't supposed. I understand that, like, for a brief second it was on there. We are not going to show that letter today because the judge did rule that wasn't supposed to be shown in the media. So we're not going to do it. Well, I'm not going to contribute to anything that might mess up any evidence against Tyler Robinson. So we will talk about the text messages. I can tell you what was in it because I believe you guys heard the agent reading the note, right? Yeah. Live. You guys heard the agent reading the note, so we can talk about that. Getting in there yesterday, the security was far more clamped down yesterday. I mean, it's been clamped down all week, but yesterday especially, like, this is the fourth day in a row they've seen me come in, and I'm having to take everything off, like getting through the stuff. Like, I mean, no, seriously, like everything. It was far more locked down yesterday, which was my first, like, okay, all right, well, that's different. I think I told you guys that we switch in the seatings, right? So the first day, Erica, Charlie's parents, and our whole crew was in the front two rows, and then it switched to Tyler Robinson's family, back to us. Tyler Robinson's family was in the front rows yesterday, and then we'll be in the front rows today. So the one thing I want to say about this is I got to see Tyler Robinson's family. Now, I saw his parents. I don't know who everyone was. I saw Tyler's parents. There were some younger guys in there. I don't know if these were cousins or brothers or
channel.
What's that?
That was the Discord channel.
I don't think it was the Discord channel.
It was a joke.
Okay. All right. Now, anyway,
that one didn't.
As this
right.
evidence was rolling in, Erica and Charlie's parents were crying, and it was really heavy because you got to remember, I mean, they're seeing some of these messages and things like that for the first time, and just seeing how it all played out. I mean, they're reliving it all over again, right? But seeing the reactions of Tyler's parents and Tyler's family was interesting to me. It was, I said this yesterday on an interview when I got out of the courthouse, it was not the same type of devastation that it was devastated. Don't get me wrong. But to me, and again, opinions mean what at this point, but to me, it felt like it wasn't a the mom was comforting the dad, like, like kind of thing. And, the dad just had his head down the entire time. It felt like a family, not like, my son is being framed or all this. It felt like a family that knows that their son or their family member did it. And they're going to testify. So we're not at trial. Like they are going to testify against their own son. I mean, they're going to. And it felt like a family that is trying to, again, this is all just my opinion, felt like a family that is trying their best to do the right thing in lieu of the most horrific thing, that your son is the one that did this. That's what it felt like. And so
I'm gonna jump in on that. I can imagine, we very rarely do people consider the families of these events when there's a lot of the usual motif is to run and vilify the family. You know, the dad took the kid hunting, or the mom was disconnected, or whatever. There's some way to make it make sense to us. We say we got to find a reason why this kid did this. The reason why this young man, young woman did this is because something that the parents did. But rarely do we actually think about the parents as almost victims themselves, and they themselves are going to have to deal with the fact that they did the right thing of turning their child in and encouraging their child to turn himself in, but then they're also going to have to walk through this with him and testify against him. They're going to see him, they see him get locked up and get shackled on out of here. Who knows if they've ever gone to visit him in prison, whatever. So they themselves are also getting drugged through this just as much. Now, this is the thing, like our sins have ramifications way outside of what we fully appreciate. Oh yeah, I'm just going to do this and it's only going to affect me. Nope. Look what it's doing to his mom and dad. Who knows who these family members or cousins or friends or whatever that nature, and the thousands of other people that were around it. I mean, that have been negatively impacted. So it's just something to think about, just to consider, because we rarely think about or make noise over the fact that there are families that are also going to be negatively impacted. So anyway, let's go.
Seeing Tyler Robinson's parents was an interesting thing during all of this. That's what it felt like. Okay, Lance Twiggs video. As you guys know, the defense was deathly afraid of this video. It's what took up all of Wednesday. And then honestly, it freaking took up like the first hour and a half, 2 hours of yesterday too. Still talking about this video. So 17 minutes of the videos cut out. But what we did get to see was catastrophically damning evidence against Tyler Robinson. So I can't imagine what is in the parts that we weren't allowed to see during this trial. Lance Twiggs talks about the confessions. Lance Twiggs verifies that it was Tyler he was talking to. Lance Twiggs also verifies his transgender name, which is Luna, which is what that handwritten note is addressed to, like Luna. It doesn't say Lance in that letter. It says Luna. And Lance Twiggs, I didn't know what that meant at the time until we got to the letter, but Lance Twiggs reveals that, he, to close friends and obviously his lover, he was identifying as Luna at that time. So we got verification from that. We got verification that Tyler Robinson got the Dremel tool from Lance Twiggs. We got verification of the timed text message, the scheduled text message at 11 p.m. that went out to Lance Twiggs on the day of the murder. I mean, just absolute four confessions were released yesterday. 4. And here's the thing. So many of the liars out there are like, we don't have Tyler Robinson actually confessing. They haven't brought that out yet. They haven't brought it out yet. In fact, I don't know if they caught this on the court cameras or not. At the very end, the judge and the state wanted to make sure that all of their evidence had been admitted. And there were gaps. I would say probably 8 to 10 pieces of evidence where the judge is like, I don't have this. And the state was like, yeah, right. We don't want to admit that at this time. Pure speculation on my part. That's probably Tyler Robinson's confessions. That's probably the 1102 statements, video or whatnot from his parents. And we also know that they did not reveal all of the UVU security footage. I would not be shocked. I don't know this, but I would not be shocked if they do not have Tyler Robinson walking back to his car in his shirt and shorts, changing and coming back out in the outfit of that everybody has seen. Lance Twiggs also using the FBI pictures that were released when they released the pictures for a person of interest. Lance said that the bottom two images of those looked like Tyler. We saw all of that. We talked yesterday about if they were going to bring the gun in or not. And I said, the one thing we didn't talk about was the rifle. Are they going to bring the rifle evidence in here? And they did. And the ATF DNA forensics report was even more damning than I thought it was. The smallest DNA match, Tyler Robinson's DNA was matched on every single aspect of this rifle. They talked about it, cartridge and a cartridge case. Cartridge is an unfired bullet. Cartridge case is a fired bullet.
Right.
They had his DNA on the cartridge. They had his DNA on the cartridge case. They found matching cartridges and casings at Tyler Robinson's family home, all with DNA match. Every single DNA match, it was a 1 in 1 trillion chance it wasn't Tyler Robinson's DNA. The lowest match they had was a 1 in, I believe it was 3.24 billion chance that it wasn't his DNA all over the scope of the rifle. We found out that they found zeroing in targets at Tyler Robinson's house, where you can see they had 3 of them there. You can see where the zero on the rifle was really off on the first one. It was a little bit better on the second one. And then he did hit bullseye on the third one. Go ahead, Todd.
So just by that knowledge alone, you can just assume that he had some formidable training, being able to zero in a rifle on his own. Nothing like, military standards or anything like that. But listen, folks, if you know and you can zero in a weapon like that, not a very difficult shot to make.
Correct. Yeah. And so, yes. And again, I believe that that's known that he had training with the rifle. The ATF agent, or not the ATF agent, the SBI agent, not the FBI agent, the SBI agent testified to the distance plus the angle. All right. So all of these people that have been doing all of these tests about a 30-06 and everything like this. Here's the thing. You know what the defense didn't argue one time? The caliber of the bullet. You know what they didn't argue one time? That it was 30-06 round that killed Charlie Kirk. You know what they didn't argue one time? That it was, that it was Tyler Robinson's rifle. They didn't argue any of that. They didn't argue a thing. So anyway, but back to the point. None of these people calculated for the actual distance plus the angle drop. I believe they said it was a 68-foot drop, angle drop as well. What we also found out from the images of the bullets, these were not full metal jacket 30-06 rounds. They weren't. They were soft tip. They were. And even further investigations from ammunitions experts online says that the exact type was a Remington. Do you have that, Todd? Do we have that pulled up where it was a Remington? What's it called? The batch of the bullet?
Crap. Hang on.
Hang on. I think I got it in the chat because I want to be precise here. It was a internet's being slow. Here we go. It was a Remington Express core lock. That's what it was. So this was the type that it is. And this is a munitions expert from the Remington head stamp on the case. This is Remington core lock, soft point round. It is specifically, this is from Phoenix Ammunition, ammunitions expert. It is specifically designed to deform, slow down, and prevent an exit wound. Available at literally every single gun store and sporting goods store that sells ammunition. A further fact, 16 out of the 17 30-06 varieties manufactured by Remington use some type of expanding, deforming, or fragmenting bullet. Only one of their products uses a full metal jacket. Absolutely devastating evidence for all the liars that have been on the internet for forever.
Say their names.
Absolutely
Say their
devastating
names.
Evidence. We saw pictures of the text message confessions.
Mm-hmm.
We saw in the courtroom, we saw the written confession. They even introduced a burn letter that had forensic matchings of the same words used in the letter that Lance Twiggs found at Tyler Robinson's home. Don't know if he was working on the right letter to use or whatever. We have the Discord chat messages. What they didn't introduce was his family's testimony and him saying he did it at the police station. So that hasn't been released yet, but we have 4 confessions right now. 4 confessions to all of this stuff. Absolutely insane amount of evidence against Tyler Robinson. Now, I've seen certain people that shall not be named saying things like, this Fed slop, which is my new most hated word, is all these people use, this Fed slop that the police would only take screenshots of a phone and a trust me bro type scenario, they think that we're retarded. Well, the person who said that, you guys can figure out who it was that said that, they are retarded.
Big time.
And here's why. Talking to actual police officers in the courtroom, this is the way it normally goes. That was Lance Twiggs' phone. Lance Twiggs came in voluntarily, and he voluntarily allowed the police to take screenshots and then confiscate his phone. That's standard practice because you know what you need to be able to use Cellbrite and actually download all the metadata to verify that those messages were sent to and from Tyler Robinson's number. You need a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
You need a warrant. So the reason that they didn't bring into this pretrial all of the Cellbrite metadata confirmation is because this is a pretrial.
Correct.
This is a pretrial. The end. And these people that are saying this to people on the internet, they don't know what they're talking about, or worse, and what's probably more true, they're just blatantly lying for clicks. Same thing with the Discord chat. They had to do a subpoena to Discord to get the messages to prove that it was actually the IP and name of Tyler Robinson in the Discord chat. They have all of that. They have all of it. But they had to get a subpoena to do that. So when Lance Twiggs showed the original thing, guess what they did? They had to take a photo of it and then put it into evidence and then get subpoenas and warrants for all of this stuff. Go ahead, Todd.
And translation for the internet sleuths out there. The reason that they take a picture of these text messages and because they have to hand the phone back is because when you take a picture and hand the phone back, if you don't take the picture, then they can just wipe it, wipe the internet. And I know it stays on the phone and it stays in, the cloud, la la land forever. But the likelihood of you getting a warrant without that text message, without that picture is pretty difficult. So they take the picture to enforce why they need the warrant. They get the warrant, then they get all the information that's needed. And one other thing, this is what I'm seeing floating around the internet right now, and it's really beginning to piss me off. Cellbrite. Yes, Cellbrite is an Israeli company that is used by over 150 nations for this very reason and has been since 2007. So shut up, you freaking anti-Semitic Jew. It's the Jew hating tards. All right.
Well, if that is true, and I'm only saying that because I haven't looked it up, but I trust Todd.
I looked it up.
You got to throw out every case that's ever used Cellbrite ever.
Right.
And then I want to say this again, another conspiracy that was disproven because Wuhan Sniffles in the chat just said all the Discord messages were sent after Tyler was already in custody somehow. Maybe that Dairy Queen had some magical cool treats. That also was disproven. Discord matches happened before Tyler Robinson turned himself in around 9 p.m. The Discord messages happened, I believe it was between 7:50 p.m. and 8 o'clock or 8 p.m. They talked about all of that in the court as well. So again, watch the trial, because everything you guys are saying, all of the metadata, all of the messages, everything, none of that is true. None of it's true. They also said they never actually interviewed Lance Twiggs. Turns out he was interviewed twice. They also said there was never an autopsy of Charlie. There was a freaking autopsy done about Charlie.
Why was there not
all this stuff?
Why would there not have been an
everything
autopsy?
Was disputed.
Something to think about. I really want people, especially if you're a member of Cantifa, come on up here to the front of the church. Just stop and think about some of the things you're buying into. Earlier on, I was talking about, you gotta commit to the bit. But at some point, you got to say, okay, hold on, this is stupid. Why would they not have done an autopsy on a man? Come on, be for real. Be for real. Why do you think they're going to give you every piece of evidence? I'm sorry, post to the world every piece of evidence, and the trial hasn't started yet? Well, just think about these things. Some of these things are not that difficult if you just stop thinking like an idiot. And some of this stuff is just it's sad to watch. Like whole grown people that vote and drive cars think like this. Like you can't be that dumb. You really can't. Well, clearly they are that dumb, but how are you able to breathe? Like at some point, I question whether or not you can walk and breathe at the same time. Forget chewing gum. That's too complex. Like, how do you do this? How are you this stupid? It's going to have to be studied by science. All right. Shout out to Graham and Todd. Let's finish up.
Everything, every single thing has been disputed. If you don't believe me, fine. Go watch the footage, because they literally brought it all. You don't have to believe me. Go watch it. Go watch it. And it was all admitted into evidence. The other big thing that happened was this. We saw, and we can just play a little bit of this, Todd. Michael Burt is one of the attorneys for Tyler Robinson. Who is Michael Burt? Michael Burt's claim to fame is he was the defense lawyer for one of the Menendez brothers. We all know how that worked out. The defense was getting their throat punched in all day, and the Kirk's family attorney goes up and says, Judge, we would like you to reconsider one thing. There's one piece of evidence that the family has not been allowed to view, and that is the zoomed in footage of the UVU campus. Because everybody that got to see the unzoomed footage, nobody can see what the crap is going on. Nobody can see anything. And this TV that we have in the courtroom, it's maybe a 42-inch TV. Like, that's the other thing. So it may look huge on the TV, but that's because they're zooming in. It's a 42-inch TV at the front of the courtroom. We can't see nothing. Like we can't see anything. So after the Kirk family attorney goes up and makes that request, here comes Michael Burt after the top row taking direct shots at Erica Kirk. We're not going to play this whole video, but we're going to play just a little bit, and I'll tell you when to pause it, Todd. Let's go.
Judge, at this point in the proceeding, we're asking the court to keep focus on the purpose of this hearing. And as the justices said in the Estes case, the purpose of a trial, and I know this isn't a trial, but the same logic applies, is to determine the defendant's guilt. It's not to educate the public or the victim's family or the world on what evidence the government or the state has.
That's actually not true.
As the court knows, we have witness availability problems. We spent the bulk of today and yesterday arguing about nothing to do with the evidence.
Pause it. Who spent the majority of yesterday and the day of Wednesday and the morning of Thursday arguing? Who was that? Who was that spent most of the day arguing that? Anybody in the comment section? It was the defense. It was Novak, the attorney Novak on the defense side, that spent all that time. This is attorney legalese garbage. They know they're the ones that did it. And they're trying to do this. All right, play it. Keep going. Sorry.
Rights of third parties. And it's appropriate for the court to consider that. But at some point, I think the court has to return to the purpose of these hearings, which is to expeditiously hear the evidence and then determine probable cause. And I want to point out to the court, Ms. Kirk has been very adept at holding press conferences at which she has revealed evidence. She has represented that the state is her attorney. She has access to all the evidence that the state has publicized and that the media and her own lawyer argues is already in the public domain. So they're perfectly free to go outside this courtroom under the court's protective order. They're free to go out and hold press conferences and announce to the world outside the courtroom what they think the evidence is. They have
okay. One, every single bit of that is untrue. And then her lawyer goes back up and corrects the record on this. They haven't seen the evidence because the state is not the attorneys for Erica. You would be shocked how little authority and control Erica has on any of it. She has virtually no say-so on anything. None. But here's my question, and I get it. We live in America, and this is going to be my ending statement for the day.
I'm going to jump in real quick. This is something I'm worried about. The fact that they keep mentioning Erica Kirk in court, I have this bad feeling that they're trying to create this environment where the reason that the trial went this way is because of Erica. Because of Erica Kirk, this is why Erica Kirk is pushing the Tyler Robinson, pushing his trial forward. Not the court, not the prosecution, not the defense, but Erica Kirk is pushing it so that she will become more and more public enemy number one. I don't even like that Judge Graff even acknowledges her from the bench, but I mean, it's over now. I hope that he doesn't do that during the trial. But I hope that makes sense. Like, I fear that they keep bringing her up. And again, I know she doesn't have any power she has no power. She's just literally a witness, a victim advocate. But I think the reason they keep bringing her up is to put it in, to kind of turn the screws, so to speak, on the Kirk family. So they will also want to, as quickly as possible, get this over with, AKA make a plea, give them, life in prison, whatever, jaywalking, whatever like that. That's why I think they keep doing that. And I don't put it past Tyler Robinson's attorneys at all. By the way, if you don't mind, I'm going to drop the link to Ben Shapiro's video that we just watched. Can y'all just make sure that you go, if you've watched it already, go leave a green heart in the comment, but definitely go by and just make sure we support Ben Shapiro. That video was fantastic. And I really want to make sure that they keep putting out good content like that. So if I can do something like encourage y'all to take a little station break, run over there real quick, click the link, run over there real quick and drop a comment, leave a green hearts in the chat or something of that nature. It would be great, I think, just to support him, because I really want them to continue to put out good content. And I want to, even if this little small gesture from this little small YouTube channel could be a benefit. So just take a few seconds. I totally believe it's deflection. I believe Judge Graff is adept enough to realize that. However, they keep doing it. And so I really don't want them to do that and turn Erica into another enemy because this, that, and other, how they're moving in court. Even though she's not in charge of it, she's not making it happen. She's not making Tyler Robinson be a terrible person. Tyler Robinson chose to be a terrible person. And now he's going to get judged for it. But that was just it. So thank y'all so much. Let's finish up with Todd and Graham.
We live in America. Tyler Robinson is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law with jury. Okay, granted. But the one thing that's not up for debate is that Erica is the victim, because the person who was the original victim is no longer here. Charlie, he's no longer here. So therefore, Erica is the victim advocate, ergo the victim in this case. That is 100% not up for debate. This trial may be, for the purposes of debate, is Tyler Robinson guilty or not? But what's not up for debate is that Erica Kirk is the victim. And you've got the attorney for the defense going up to the mic and attacking the victim. The victim.
That was
open
crazy work.
court on live TV. It was the most disgusting thing I have ever seen. The judge made a lot of good rulings yesterday. That was something that I was very shocked that he did not grab him by the neck in that moment. And this judge is a new judge. He's a brand new judge. If I recall, this is his first, if not his first couple of cases. Like, what a case to draw on your first thing. The fact that the judge, to have a defense attorney attack what is not up for debate in any way, shape, form, or fashion, the victim of it was a moment. And they tell us in the court, if you do anything, if you show any freaking emotion, if you show any anger, they're going to kick you out of the courtroom. So you literally are sitting there. You see Erica literally deer in headlights, crying her eyes out because she's like, what in the world is happening? This defense attorney attacks the undisputed, and it is not up for debate, the victim in this case. Whether or not Tyler Robinson did it, again, it's innocent until proven guilty in this country. We've already talked about this. I believe the evidence is overwhelming, but he has his constitutional rights to a trial. But again, I state, what's not up for debate is that Erica Kirk is the victim, and you've got a freaking attorney attacking the victim in open court on live TV.
That was crazy.
I've never seen anything like it, and it made me physically sick. It really did. I haven't felt an anger like that in a while, because not only was it the most insane thing ever, you can't do anything about it. You just got to sit there. You just got to sit there and take it. It was disgusting. And it even more proof to the point that the defense, in my opinion, knows they're screwed. I believe the defense knows Tyler did it. I believe they know that there's zero chance they're going to win this case. I've heard some things, I don't know how true it is, that they're milking their paycheck from the state of Utah as long as humanly possible. And then once that paycheck gets run out, you're going to start to see some of this crap moving a bit quicker. It is what I see. I would not be shocked. I think Tyler Robinson, I think all the evidence speaks for itself.
Yeah, just a really quick search to shut down, and this attorney should probably be disbarred for this false information in the court.
Wow.
When it comes to the state's evidence, the only people that have access to it is the prosecution, the state, the defense attorney through the discovery process, the defendant, usually through their attorney, the judge, law enforcement, expert witnesses. Who does not? The victim and their families, the media, the general public, and potential jurors. So you should probably be disbarred for that particular statement right there.
Definitely a bar complaint.
Yeah,
Definitely a bar
and again,
complaint.
last thing, because I see more. Guys, you got to watch the trial, and that's why we're here to talk about this. Somebody just said the trial starts September 1st. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. September 1st is when they have oral arguments over the binding. The binding is where they decide, yes, this is going to go to trial and probable cause has been met. That's September 1st. And they got to have 6 weeks to prep for that oral argument to whether or not probable cause has been met, and there will be a trial. And then I don't know how long Lance Twiggs' defense has to enter into an actual verdict, or not a verdict, a plea. And then they'll set an actual court date. Guys, this is going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road.
Maybe.
And anyway, so again, that is not true. September 1st is not the trial date. That is the date for the two sides to have oral arguments to decide on, so the judge can make his final decision on whether or not probable cause has been met.
There we go. All right. So there we go, man. It's going to be a long road. So we'll be praying for sure that things go well, and that, of course, ultimately, that justice is met for Charlie Kirk for sure. Let me see. I'm just looking to see if there's any. I will come back tomorrow. We'll do a show tomorrow, and we'll look at some of these other ones. There's been some other really good ones as well. So I want to make sure I give them a little opportunity to shine, all that kind of good stuff. But thank y'all so much. I just got a friend request from somebody who went to UVU. That's what I'm trying to process. I'm like, wait, like somebody actually attended UVU. When did they graduate? That is wild. Okay. Well, I'll find out more about this person. Let me see. They're fairly young. Yeah, they're probably. Okay. I don't know who this person is, but I got a friend request, and I happen to notice that, well, she's a content creator. I'll take that back. I do know who she is. She's a content creator. But lo and behold, she graduated from UVU. How crazy is that? Shout out. That would be fun to hear from her, hear her thoughts. Absolutely. I'm going to shoot her a quick message and say, all right. I know I'm off task. I'm off task over here. Shout out to the best live chat in the internet. Thank you so much. I am not a fan of snapback hats anymore. I don't know why. I don't like them too much. I feel like this one's unsnapped in the back. I don't know. Y'all like, man, what is this dude talking about? Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much, everybody who hung out with us. This was fun. I just wanted to go over some of the things that Candace has said, the things that the Candace cult have said, and how they were debunked this week during the preliminary trial. I think it went pretty well. I want to say thank you to everybody, of course, the stream sponsor. Thank you so very much, Dubra, for sponsoring the stream with a very kind and very gracious super chat. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us this afternoon and this evening. I'm looking forward to, God willing, we'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. We'll probably pick up, there was a couple of other names that people said. There are people who also did, debunking Candace conspiracy videos. And so I'll grab a few more of those and we'll do it again tomorrow evening after evening service. So thank y'all so much. Have a beautiful, wonderful Lord's Day tomorrow. Enjoy your family. Take care of yourself, all that kind of good jazz. It's finally stopped being 1,000 degrees outside here in Georgia. So that's a wonderful thing. Because good gracious, man, it was hot for no good reason. But needless to say, we're back. So everybody, we'll do this again, Lord willing, tomorrow. Thank you so much for tapping in. Everybody in the best live chat, thank you so much to the moderators. I really do appreciate it. If you could, just do me a favor, make sure you tip your waiters on the way out the door. Make sure you hit that like button if you did not already. Please hit the like button. If you didn't already, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hopefully I earned it. All right. Green hearts in the chat on the way out the door. Thank you so much. I will see you all tomorrow, Lord willing. We'll do it again. Let's do it at 6 o'clock. So until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.